I seconded it, so trustee Ryder,
Yes.
treasurer Fit,
Yes.
as clerk I will say yes, supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
and trustee List.
Yes.
And motion carried.
Okay, moving on. Any guests this evening? Commissioner? No, you might need to raise that mic a little bit. There you go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, or Shoki and your commissioner. A few comments. First, from the sheriff's office, the carcass patrol is back active, so if you see deer alongside the road, they will be picking them up. If you don't know, the inmate count was down around 20. 10 in each federal and local, but we have some different variation. I don't think there's any idea why that exactly was the case. It was convenient that they were down because the number of corrections officers were down a little bit, and so they're back to rehiring. This would be the corrections, the jail employees that are down, and so they are adding that back. Last month or a month before, I think I mentioned about the juvenile, the change of name of the Juvenile Justice Center back to the Juvenile Care Center. We had another discussion about that at the board, because actually the judge had made the change, but actually that wasn't her, that wasn't something she could do. The separation of powers kind of thing was actually supposed to be what the board did. But we went ahead and agreed with that. Partly a little bit more on why the name was. It's about her thinking and what it maybe was in the past is calling it a juvenile care center versus a juvenile justice center. It just has a different feeling for the kids, and sort of being when we look at it, it sounded much more legal and more like there's some criminal things or something like that when we use that term. So a juvenile care center is a little less making any sort of impression of what they did, what they've done or not done. Some of they're not because of behavior. With the change, it turns out the change hadn't been completed before. The first change going to the Justice Center was in 23. They hadn't completed the full change. We did buy some of the uniforms that they were using, and so they were at the point they were going to need to do something. Well, now we just did. We just kept with the other ones. So it wasn't as costly as it would have been, but we're still told to keep the old sign. So in case something changes and they want to do this again, we don't have to use that money's already spent. We don't want to do it again. Pinecrest account is stable there. We're planning for a grant from the Midland County Community Foundation to get money, $37,000 for the My Hope counselors. And these are people in the corrections area that are not violent. They make some bad decisions, and this is that we have counselors to help them so they can be back out sooner. And the state, it'd been a state-funded thing, but the state reduced the amount of money that was coming to the county. So we either had to come up with the money someplace or stop. Well, we got a grant from the NACF is allowing the money for that, so there's no change. We also use some opiate money because these were people who've been having drug-related issues. So that's going forward, and I believe that grant is going to be part of the endowment one. So when people at the Midland Community Foundation and early May, there's a Give Local program you might hear, and that's the money that when you give to some of the local different programs that have an endowment, there will be different agencies and Community Foundation, other organizations that will match your donation up to a certain amount. So we can increase more of the money that is given, and it's money given back to the community, so it's a good thing. vaccine waiver program, the one that I mentioned a while back, that was a software program from the University of Michigan to facilitate the training about vaccines. We were having the county health department people give that training. That's for any parents who wanted to opt out of having their kids getting the full vaccine set if they didn't want to for whatever reason. And you can still have that waiver, but you needed to have some training. That was a statute in Michigan, so they had to do that. And so they need that training. Well, now they can go through the software program. I went through it to see what it's like. Jim Thomas, another commissioner, he went through too. We both thought it was fine. It took a little while, but they did a good job, and that's up and running. And the department said they had good reports from people taking it, so it looks like it was good. And it cost us nothing. It was just gonna save actually some time from some of the nurses there, so it looked like it was a win all the way around. The GIS system, they're gonna have a new imagery. The last pictures were back in 2020. And so every 5 years, they take the new images, and they have just returned the images to the county, and they're gonna be rolled out sometime yet this month. They got it now they got the however they did it, I don't know what kind of way, electronic format they did it, but then they got it loaded in their systems and do all that kind of stuff and whatever other checking before they finally put it on. We expect it yet this month, and so then it'll be pictures that they took about April or so last year. So that's gonna be happening. We have a new HR, Human Resource Director at the county. They weren't ready to yet name the person because they're coming from another position and they gotta go through the, giving notice and all that, so that at least that position's been filled. There are other positions that are available at the county. If people are interested, you can just go to the Human Resource tab that you select that one when you go to the county departments, and then you can look at the different positions that are available. That's all I have. If there's any questions or things people have, that's all. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, any other guests this evening? I don't believe so. All right, we'll go ahead and move to approval of the agenda with the clerk's additions.
Okay. I just want to bring to everyone's attention that the spectrum, and I believe it did on the fire department too, is increased. They both have increased. And I don't have the West Midland entered yet, but it is due.
Is this fuzzy?
Yeah.
That's what let me, hold on one second. I want to see if it's been moved, turned up here.
It may have been, because the hall was rented, so it may be. Good. All right, so I'm waiting on a W-9 for the, BYD, for the qualifying statement. And then Heidi cleared up the Amazon one for me, so that can be, taken care of. And then we got just a new bill from Scotland that's not entered, but it needs paid. And then, I may have forgotten the sheriff's office from last time, because I don't believe that's on here, so.
They were here last week.
They weren't here last time, that would be why, okay. For some reason, I thought they were, so then I don't need them.
Maybe that was a prior month, maybe I'm mistaken.
So if they were here, I would like to pay it, it's roughly
They were
around
here.
$100.
They were here.
So-
My apologies.
It didn't, okay. Isn't that fine? I bet it's due to the date of entering. So Heidi said the key shop isn't showing up on there, so I wanted to even though it's entered, for some reason it didn't, so sheriff's bill and the key shop bill. So that is my clerk's additions.
And is that your motion?
Yes, it is.
I will second that.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve the clerk's additions, even with the last, things there, so Treasurer Pitt? Yes. As clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
And trustee List?
Yes.
And trustee Ryder? Yes. Motion carried.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the February 9th, 2026 board meeting minutes.
Yeah. Very.
I've already read them, I didn't have any concerns. Any discussion on the February 9th board meeting minutes? Any discussion? All right, then I'll make a motion to approve the February 9th, 2026 board meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the February 9th minutes as presented. As clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee List?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
And Treasurer Pitt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next on the agenda is approval of the bills for fire. Any discussion on the fire bills?
Since we've switched, it just makes it harder. I have to come up with a whole new system, because before I was able to give you what it was all in a nutshell. So I'm having to figure out, because entering the ACHs as they are, it's making it so totally different. It's not like just having this, yeah, see? So, but
Any discussion on fire bills? If not, I will make a motion to approve fire bills as presented.
I'll second that.
all right, it's been moved and seconded to pay the fire bills as presented. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee List?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Treasurer Pitt?
Yes.
And as clerk, I will say yes, so motion carried.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the bills for payroll.
Before we approve payroll, there's some glitch in the system, and I left you a text message, but you probably didn't understand what I was saying. Deb's check never got to her account.
Right.
And it's been going there for how long? So I finally figured out what it was. Dwayne Forshey switched his bank. He was the same as what Deb's was, and it took Deb's to his too. So did everybody get their pay?
Yeah.
Right. Deb's is gonna have to be reissued. What was that? I don't think so. No, he did not. I wonder if his is the same. So, have you seen anything come
I
back?
haven't read on the table, because I don't know what's here. But I can do that.
So you said, David Kissinger.
This may be on, you'll find out who else that is.
So to me, it's very strange why there must be a button where it says, take all of the people that deal with that bank to this bank. So, but,
So how are we gonna get them paid promptly? I don't wanna make them wait.
no, I'm not gonna make them wait,
As
so.
soon as she uploads it onto a file, she can either email it to me or hand me the pen drive. I uploaded it, it's got in mine.
I have to void it out and then redo it, but I'm gonna check with David first to see, you know, maybe he's the same situation.
I'll put a report.
Okay.
Send me in the meeting.
So other than that,
Did Dwayne get his?
I'm
I
assuming,
have the report.
yeah, I'm assuming so, but,
I just typically don't go into the payroll until payroll.
and why would we go back into to it, you know, once because my paperwork says that it went.
So mine was very late, it didn't, so I didn't get, I say late, it was on time, but I didn't get a pending ACH.
Notification.
So it
Yes,
was so
neither
weird.
did I.
It was, it normally is there Saturday, Sunday, I didn't see anything, Monday I logged in and
It was there, yeah,
So,
so it was weird for some reason.
Or it's the same report I get from the bank that shows when it's coming out in the account.
sure.
So you knew it was coming out on the second, but they don't have a report that they automatically, I'll dig into that, see if I can find if they can auto send us a bounce back.
Yes, that would be nice, because I looked and I didn't see anything in the bank where it had said Deb's came back to us, yeah.
I'll check settings, see if I can find.
So I want to be able to take care of those, but the payroll report that you have
Is accurate.
is accurate. It still will be the same, so.
Just the
You
deposit.
can
Yes.
email me that, that's a small amount, you can email that easily, that file,
Okay,
and then you won't have to go.
worry about it, all right.
And then I can upload
Do it right away, okay. So other than that.
Okay.
So,
Any discussion on payroll,
I,
other than what we did?
no, as long as the motion is to fix those immediately, I'm good.
yeah,
Any other discussion? If not, I will make a motion to approve payroll as presented and correct those that didn't receive pay.
okay.
We don't know who those are.
So I'll second that.
So what I can also do is I will send an email out to all the employees that should have gotten it, to say if you did not get yours, to please let us know.
Important to do.
Okay,
I don't know
okay.
if you could do a search, but it'd be late now, but whoever had wildfire.
I don't know if it gives me a report. I don't think it does.
Okay, I can just go in and look for the bounce backs from the bank. That's,
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve payroll as presented with the correction of the minimum of the two. So trustee List,
Yes.
trustee Ryber,
yes,
treasurer Pitt,
yes,
Ms. Clerk, I will say yes, supervisor Kruger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the bills for solid waste. Any discussion on the solid waste bills as presented? I didn't have any concerns,
No.
anyone else? Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the solid waste bills as presented.
we did have some receipts now.
Sure.
Mhm. Well, we're paying 147 and I only have
Well, there
7.
should be two.
I had 2 receipts is all I had.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing
You know,
one.
one should maybe.
It's 147 versus 78.
So one, that actually is propane for the, repurpose.
You know, we just didn't have receipts.
So I will get it to you. For just the, country hardware.
Just country hardware.
What was your receipt on it?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
2
There it
receipts,
is.
but it's only $78.
I may have forgotten to take a copy of the last page. I had them together, but I thought I put both of them through.
It's just $69, but still. Yeah, so that's all I see.
And the copies are light sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, on the receipts that country hardware
Yes,
gives us.
in particular.
Yeah, the
I
carbon,
was squinting.
it's
but I-
like the second or third sheet on a three receipt.
Yeah.
But
So it has been moved and seconded. Did you?
no.
First time for the-
I can second her. So it's been moved and seconded, and I have down here to get, copies of the receipts for Heidi. And, other than that, are we good? All right. Trustee Ryder,
Yes.
treasurer Pitt,
Yes.
Ms. Clerk, I will say yes, yes, Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
and trustee List.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the bills for general. Any discussion on any of the general invoices?
It's on the missing receipt.
Hearing none, hearing no discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the bills for general as presented.
I can second.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded to, pay the general bills as presented. Treasurer Pitt? Yes. As clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee List?
Yes.
And trustee Ryder? Yes. All right, motion carried.
Final for approval of the bills is approval of the bills for water.
You not received their, interest payment?
Just, in January? Yeah, yes, it did. Other than that, there is no water. Oh, that's in the, yeah, that's in
All
general.
right, moving on. Next on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
This is it. It's the standard.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions on any of that? I mean, solid waste is not insufficient, solid waste is fine, it's just a reconciliation problem, but that's the only one showing negative numbers, but it's, you know, it's not 18,000.
Right.
Right, we're there. And we'll get there.
So.
Any discussion? Any further discussion?
I do have one question. The amount that we have, the ending balance of all the accounts, is that ours, or does some of that still have to be dispersed to the county or anything like that?
Oh, tax has not all been dispersed yet.
Good.
I balanced with the county first, before I started filing payments.
Okay, I just wondered, because it seemed to be quite high, that's why I was asking.
Yes, yeah. Oh, no, the schools have a lot of checks coming to them, and so does the county.
That's fine, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut those today. That'll be tomorrow.
All right, if not, I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
I don't remember where I left off, because I just turned the page, so I'll start and I'll say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee List?
Yes.
Trustee Ryder? Yes. And treasurer Pitt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next on the agenda is the fire report, Chief Hoffman.
Good evening.
Come on up a little closer.
Oh, you're hiding back.
And I'm not the minister either. Good start with training. February training was on building construction knee wall fires. That was conducted by Nick Burkett, did an excellent job as usual. However, it was his last time as the lead, and I'll get into that momentarily. Old trucks, both of the old trucks have now been shipped to other places. It had been years since I'd actually driven a truck up onto a semi. That was an experience again. I mean, it went fine, but you get a real sense of height when you do that. Personnel, Maria, would you stand please? Maria was with us, had to leave because of circumstances beyond her control in April of '24. She is coming back. So we'll be asking for your blessing on that tonight. Blessing, maybe I am, Mr. Okay, you can sit down. Training officer Dick Burkett, as I said, is stepping down. He'll be going to a firefighter position and he'll stay with us for at least a year. He's currently living in Harrison. but he's been conducting all of his training duties here at the same time. The reason we've left him on is because he still has family, his mother is right here in the area. And, if he makes some runs for us, that's great. He's already got all the training, if he can show up, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll reevaluate after a year, and we'll take it from there. Taking, Nick's place as training officer is Mike Bowman, right? Okay. Mike is being elevated to a lieutenant's position. And after a year or so in that position as training officer, lieutenant will reevaluate and possibly look at captaincy, which is what Nick left. He was a captain in this section. Bill, I didn't mention, Nick, Burkett is also training as a police officer.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
he's going to another vocation. He's currently a full-time firefighter for the tribe of Traverse City. So he's changing spots. Bill Demmer, Bill? Okay. Bill is being promoted to the lieutenant's position. He is taking the place of Captain Scott Cronkite, who was actually here tonight. Scott stepped down, he's left us, hopefully not for good, and we're going to try and get him back again. And Scott served many years with us. Mike has done an excellent job. Bill has done an excellent job. Actually, it sounded like officers tonight. Listening to the radio traffic. Yeah, I can make you out. Very, very professional. We've had 2 calls this evening already, so we'll get another one. The benches will be very empty. And with that, I'm requesting the board approve the reinstatement of Maria Hunt and the advancement to Lieutenant Mike Bowman and Bill Lumber at the earliest possible dates.
I will make that motion to do so.
Do it all in one.
I will make the
Today's
motion.
date. Today's date.
Today,
That's fine.
I will second that.
Okay.
No, you got me.
Yeah, I actually, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to reappoint Maria Hunt as well as Mike Bowman and Bill Limmer to lieutenant effective today. Correct? Okay. So Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee List,
Yes.
Trustee Ryder,
Yes.
Treasurer Pitt,
Yes.
and as clerk, I will say yes. Mike, I have not met you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Mike is actually a teacher for both 3 schools.
That's what I heard.
So he's gonna be a nice fit for training officer. He has been working with Nick quite a bit, and it's working well for us.
Very good.
Very professional.
Welcome back to me.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Okay, next on my agenda is online training. We are in the process of obtaining an online continuing education service, which will allow us to take continuing ed at the department or at home on our own computers. And this will fill in some of the gaps where it's difficult for us to make classes. Versus if you're on vacation and there's a medical class that comes up and you can't get it, but you need it to renew your license, we'll be able to do it online. The only thing we can't do is like CPR recertification, that still has to be done with the CPR instructor in the real times. It's gonna be under $700 annually, which is a bargain for what we're getting. This also gives us continuing ed for firefighter positions, for officer positions, including the chief's position. So it's gonna be a nice supplement.
Chief, I have a question. Who is that through?
That is through, I didn't put it on here, CSU. We're gonna get you an invoice to show.
Okay.
We're working on it.
No problem. I wondered if it was from something that you already had or if it was something new. And I know that was one reason why we got the TV at the station, so if you guys have to do any training, you could do it as a group training.
Yeah, it would be used for that, and we also use it for Zoom meetings. We've had quite a few of them, so.
Good.
The storm event, put this in here, evening of the 13th. We had 10 calls for service beginning about 5, and I think we cleared, about 9:15, something like that. A couple of those runs went for almost 2 hours. So we were very, very busy. I'm surprised we weren't out more today than we have been. But we still have a lot of these old dead trees that are coming down on power lines. We have power lines across the road today. In fact, that's what some of our people are out on right now. It just was a very, very long day. We had 3 calls prior to that, beginning about 1:30 in the morning. So we didn't get very much sleep that day. Saturday, we had a special work bee. Trucks and equipment were cleaned up following the storm event on Friday. And, everything was solid mud, and I have to tell you, I took our old engine down Almando Road to Salt River Road, through ruts that were over 12 inches deep.
Wow.
It's never slowed down. I thought we were gonna be getting a record. That was an experience. We also got tool mounts that we had purchased, installed in the new truck. Found we need a few more, I just ordered those today, but quite a bit of the equipment now is up and it's properly stored, and you can open the doors and you can actually see it. It's not all piled in the bottom of the compartments. Midland Township's meeting on March 6th, I, along with Chief Jake Cole from Jerome and Chief Metzger from Mills Township, gave a presentation to the collective townships. We did this on behalf of the Midland County Chiefs Association, and we covered all the current states of our departments, as well as the difficulties we were having with increasing call volumes, the aging of our staffs, the lack of recruits. And I've talked to you about this before, several times during our meetings here. We're all looking at a long-term grave issue. We are getting a few recruits here and there, but a lot of us are aging. We have people in our department now, 70 and over, still making the majority of the calls. And at some point, something has to give. So what we're looking for is, and we approached the townships about the possibility of getting a grant to fund a survey so that we could evaluate all of the departments in the county, all the townships, the services that are being offered, call volumes, the types of calls, the staffing numbers, and come up with some possible recommendations for the future, which could include a countywide district, could include multiple larger districts within the county. We don't know what the answer is, and that's one reason we need a survey, is we need some professionals to come in and look at it. And there are companies that do this. They will come in and they will evaluate everything that I just mentioned, plus the financial situations and the population, to come up with some recommendations for the future. And should this proceed, it isn't anything that's gonna happen overnight. The reason we're bringing it up now is because this could be 4 or 5, even 10 years down the road before we get to this point. But we need to start planning and looking into it now, so that if this eventuality occurs where we can't make the calls anymore, we have an alternative plan. And some of the things that I didn't mention just now is it could involve part-time or even full-time staffing at some of our stations, so that we have a minimum to go out there every day. Because I will tell you, and I've said this before, we get a structure fire right now. We have Midland Township coming and we have Homer Township coming. And sometimes we're lucky we get 6 to 8 people. That's not enough to run a structure fire. So we really have to start looking at this hard. And I'm not saying we're doing a lousy job, we do a very good job, in my humble opinion, with what we have. We've got some good people. But it's getting serious, and it's gonna get a lot more serious. Some of the reasons we're not recruiting is people are changing jobs more often, they're not staying in the area. It's a tremendous commitment when it comes to training. You have families now where both spouses have to work, and they're not that willing to go out at night anymore and make calls or make trainings when we already have a full schedule. So It was well received, I thought. We had a lot of feedback from it. In fact, the moderator actually cut us off after about half an hour with questions. When we were answering questions after it was all over, I think, two of the chiefs were of the last 4 people that were at the hall when everybody else had left, still answering questions. And, I say it was well received. I found out since then that Mills actually has already set some money aside for a study, or budgeted for it, I should say, in case we can't get a grant. But the next step in this is to get some estimates, and I, along with some of the other chiefs, are going to be looking and talking to some of these companies, and giving them a set of criteria to look at, so they can come back to us with an estimate of what it'll take to do the actual study. And I've heard numbers anywhere from 30,000 to over 100,000. It could be very, very pricey, but I guess I say pricey. One of the treasurers that was at the meeting, had done the math while we were standing there, so well, it's $100,000, it's like $5,800 per township, which you break it down now, it's not that much. So we're proceeding with it anyways, and we'll come back with some numbers to the townships and for the studies at some point, hopefully before the next grant cycle. And we'll take it from there. And the one thing I always hit send, and then I think of something else I should have put on here, that's one of the most obvious. We had an open house February 25th, first, and it went really well. We had a lot of people through. It was well received. We had refreshments. We had a lot of people that baked cookies and just worked overtime on days. And it was really nice. We had a nice question and answer session on the new truck. And everybody seemed to be very impressed with what we purchased. I think we made the right decision. And we're happy with it.
I would agree.
Calls for service February, we had 38 total. Lee Township had 30. We had an explosion, which was kind of bad. And since I said explosion, everybody's gonna ask me anyways. It was a propane tank inside the truck cab pickup. And we don't know what the ignition source was, but it had to have been venting for quite a while before it actually exploded. And I was told some people heard it 3 miles away. Now, I was about a mile and a half away, I didn't wake up. Must be someone sleeping, but it was kind of dramatic anyways. We had 17 medicals. We had 1 controlled burn. We were canceled with route 7 times. And we had 3 incidents that were unfounded. Greendale Township had 8 incidents, 1 motor vehicle accident, 3 medicals, 1 trash fire rubbish, which was an illegal burn. We did not issue a citation for it. We had a little bit of discretion. We issued a warning because it was the first time we did it. We were canceled en route once, and there was 1 unfounded call, and we had 1 electrical repair. We had absolutely no mutual aids, which is rare. And that's pretty much what I have. Any questions?
No, but, for the online training, I would like to make a motion to approve that $700 annual requirement.
Okay, I didn't know whether you want to do that or not. We have a budget for it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that.
Okay, so it's been moved in, seconded. What was the name again, Chief? I'm sorry.
CSU.
CSU. So it's been, there's a motion on the floor that has approved up to $700 for CSU for the online training,
And that's an annual expense.
and yet annual expense. So trustee List,
Yes.
trustee Reiber,
Yes.
treasurer Hitt,
Yes.
and clerk, I will say yes, and supervisor Crooker.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And we'd like to know, when you're working on the budget for next week, that we implement at least a $10,000. That's what we discussed at the
And
MCT.
that was the number I had in mind as well, so yeah.
So I have a check for the fire trucks that were sold And I thought he was gonna send me another one if he did.
For 500.
Yeah, I do not believe that I have that.
I'm guessing you probably will when you receive the check.
Probably, yeah. But anyways, $45,000.
That's what I would do.
So that's what I would do too.
So what we learned is we have some vehicles that we did not have titles to. We have, and these are going back 30 years, right? It's nothing new. We have some vehicles that loans were taken out on, and the bank Chemical Bank no longer exists, and they needed to be signed off, right?
And they
So-
can't be.
And they can't, so we're going through the process of that. And so, Clerk Dawson and Treasurer Pitt, reviewed all of the titles that we had and turned the copies over to the chief to verify that we have all the equipment.
Robin and I went through the files at the station as well, and we found nothing, other than one for a 1994 vehicle that nobody.
You found the
The
70.
70, that's right, there was a 76 too.
A bus, wasn't it a bus?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's logical if it was Chemical Bank, that Chemical Bank is no longer here, and it went from Chemical Bank to TCF to Huntington.
Yep.
If we owed on it, Chemical Bank would have been on us, and so would Huntington, so I'm sure it's just, you know, a little bit of paperwork that they have to do to bring everything together, and then he said they would be mailed directly to the hall. They can't can't email them, we can't go pick them up, they have to mail them.
Yes.
So as soon as I get them, then we will get to the Secretary of State's, because it will be, we'll still have to get a title for it.
The one was a build title, wasn't even a title from Daytona Beach. From where-
Well, and we have the same thing with the new truck.
Chris
We have-
just
we have-
gave me,
we have
this is on the
certificate.
new truck. So this is what we have on the old truck, that is not even a title. And it should come with a second stage, and there is no second stage, because the first it was the two individual parts. That's what this is, they're put together.
Something that needs to be pointed out for those that are wondering, is that the vehicles were insured,
Yes.
Yes,
and you can hang a municipal plate on a municipal vehicle in the state, you don't even need a title. So, we were
Yes.
legal.
Yep.
We just didn't have the paperwork to convey the title to the next owner.
For many years. In process.
Any other questions?
Thank you. All right, next, planning and zoning. Reflux is,
He could not be here tonight, but we did not have a meeting in February, due to, well, lack of anything needing to be done and potential absences. So we are gonna have a meeting this coming Wednesday here, 7:00, anyone is welcome. And we're still traveling towards, looking at the new master plan, basically, as to, we want to do a survey, and there's lots of different ways to do this, so it's gonna take a while for sure, but we're keep gathering our thoughts and ideas on how to actually implement it, what questions to ask, but be looking in the future that they'll be sending out, a survey. It'll be a while yet, nothing immediate, and it's all towards redoing the master plan.
Great, thank you, trustee Robert. You're up next for the cemetery report as well.
Cemetery report, well, there's not been a whole lot been happening, nothing too much new to report, any kind of, burials through the winter have been with the use of fire to heat the ground, get in there, so the one thing we do, we kind of want to mention is Vaughn. We talked about that a little bit there. Vaughn is our contractor who digs the holes, and he is improving, he had surgery.
and he did, what was it, a double bypass, I believe?
Yeah, so he is, I just talked to him the other day, so he is improving and things are moving along, but he does have workers that are doing the job in his absence. So other than that, nothing really new to report, other than we are getting a little bit closer to having the new maps to be placing out to the chapel. for others to be able to walk up and identify where these places are.
I told Kelly Quick and Reliable, but that's not it. It's the one that's out.
You said Eastman, so I knew Eastman.
Is it Rush?
Right,
Okay,
okay.
so I thought for whatever reason it was that, but it's not, so.
I think once we just have the budget approved, so we allow money for that, then we can go ahead and have those
Yes.
maps made.
Yep.
So we're close.
Anything else? If not, we'll move on to code enforcement report. So 10/2023-01, this is where there's a tree through a mobile home. So the individual that I have been working on this has moved out of the township. Their telephone number has been disconnected, and, I believe they may have lost their business as well. But, looking at it today, it might fit in our criteria to look at an accelerated foreclosure on the property. So I will work through that process and see how that works. It looks like they're at 3 years behind now with this winter's taxes, right? They were at the 2 years. So we might have an opportunity, over at the county, and see if they're already foreclosing on the property, and we might have an opportunity, due to the accelerated foreclosure process that I can bring back to the board next month to discuss. 02/2024-01, this is where concrete, it's two parts, it's a blight, it's also zoning, it's two parcels, focusing on parcel one. In fact, trustee List and myself were out and spoke with this individual a week ago, on Saturday,
Yeah,
about about the second parcel anyways.
it was Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, it was one of those days, we went for a drive. Parcel A, from the zoning, from the building inspector perspective, they're waiting on code authority, right? They have a few things to finish up due to the weather, and then the pole barn will be tied down appropriately, and they'll receive their final inspection. So that's on up and up. The other piece, we're working on it, but again, right now, with the rain and the weather, they're probably not going to get vehicles removed from some of these for a short time. 01/2025-01, this is also dual parcel zoning and blight. I'm working with this individual. I know it's too wet. There's standing water right now in the second parcel. The first parcel, and it has poor drainage in that area. We already worked on the drainage in that area. The second parcel, he is working on getting some of his larger equipment out of there. 05/2025-02, this one, the resident has recently returned, and he was actually unaware the letters were coming back undeliverable. He was out of pocket, we'll say, and he was not aware, and it is actively being cleaned up. And that's it for code enforcement report. No new enforcements to review. Moving on to hall update. I don't think there's anything going on at the hall.
No, it's just being rented.
We need to find a time when it's not, so we
Yeah,
can have the floors.
They got
I've
the
talked
deep
with
cleaning in
DPW.
the kitchen, it needs cleaned, and
Yeah,
what they turn in, 12? I think I turned in 12 rentals, it was park and hall, but, and I think I've got 4 more to do tonight. So, busyness.
yeah. So moving on to park update, a lot of activity. I do have one item for the park under new business that we can talk about at that time, but I do want to talk about the pavilion. How do we want to rent the new pavilion, or do we want to rent the new pavilion? So, I met with a resident 2 weeks ago at the Refuse and Recycle Center, and they had asked specifically if they could rent the new pavilion. That was their request. And today, we don't offer that.
Well, because it was just finished.
It was, right.
And I know last month we talked a little bit about it, and, it had been said that we don't have water and what have you, but even if we don't rent it, people are still gonna use it, it's still gonna have to be cleaned, so.
And that pavilion does not have electricity
Right.
yet, to be determined. We have
I
had
guess I
discussions.
just
with
need to
them.
know what to tell that person, I mean, if they wanna go there and use it, if nobody else is there, I don't.
How are you gonna handle the parking until everything
Right.
is finished over there?
Right, we're not, I mean, we don't have an option,
No, cause they can't drive up to it.
no. So it should probably still remain as first come, first served, it's usable. to your
And then
point.
I will just tell her that,
And
so,
if they'd like to rent the,
one we rent out right now,
then that's fine, otherwise they can go
first
Swap.
come, first served, right.
in the morning,
So,
if that's what they're wanting to do, that's fine.
the only thing that we can offer them is tables, that's it, tables and chairs on the benches on.
At that location.
Yeah. So,
Anything else for the park update? Moving on to unfinished business, so we have a couple things that have been tabled. The zoning ordinance has been tabled, the blight ordinance focus group update has been tabled, the employee handbook has been tabled, and the employee sick time accrual has been tabled. I think we're probably in a position where we can start kind of ticking some of these off, right? Things are now slowing down, tax season is ending, assessing season is ending, so to speak, but it is the busy time. And the reconciliation is coming to a good space. What would the board feel would be our next?
I think the sick time accrual is
That's
something
important.
we have to do.
Yep, and I have some data to share on that.
Mhm.
So how about if we tackle the employee handbook and the employee sick time accrual?
I think that's fine.
With the board agree? Those will be our next two.
at the next meeting,
Yeah, yes.
I think that's a good spot.
They
Got it, because
the two of them
go together.
go together, yeah, they. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Do you want to make a motion on that?
we
We don't need to. All right, next on the agenda is the reconciliation update. Mr. Burt. From the Raymond.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. So progress today, this will be progress since our last meeting in February. We've had meaningful progress across all of the major cash accounts. So the general ledger activity, the estimate system has been reviewed and compared to the bank statements for fire, payroll, and the general cash accounts through February of 2026. So the initial review has been, try to emphasize that. Yeah, so not 25, 26, so we've had we've had corrective entries identified and proposed by our staff. So for the payroll and fire accounts, so Ben and I, we reviewed and posted the correcting entries and completed the bank reconciliations for those accounts through March 2025. So the first step of all of these was to get March 2025 completed, so then we can start getting ready to have the auditors come out for that fiscal year. And then, once those are all completed, then move on and finalize the 2026 bank statements. I lost my spot. All of those through March 2025 were payroll and fire completed. So we only have the general fund cash account left. So that's in process. We were optimistic that once we got the payroll and the fire, specifically the payroll, bank account fixed, that would make, the general fund just a little bit easier to do. And it has, but then also the general fund obviously has the highest volume of any of the bank accounts at the township. So So that is taking a little bit longer for us to go through the review process on. So we're going through reviewing the work of the staff. So we, and, occasionally we do, have questions that we, ask Laura and Heidi about, and that process has been, we've been working collaboratively and, researching and resolving those transactions. So, I think that's all positive things. Our, goal is to have the March 30, 2025 general fund, reconciliations all caught up by the end of this month. So then we can say, okay, those are closed. We can tell the state that, all we have to do is just do some year-end entries for that fiscal year, and then maybe, you can start having your auditors come out, which is all good. With the ongoing monthly entries, we continue to coordinate closely with Laura and Heidi on posting the monthly investments and payroll-related entities, and that's been going well. So looking ahead, we don't, at this point, we don't anticipate any additional staff time. The remaining work is just primarily going to consist of Ben and I reviewing and posting the correcting entries in BSNA. And then, like I said, if there's things that we need to investigate further or we get some clarification on, we'll do that as well. So once we have, like I said, by the end of this month, when we have all the 2025 reconciliations done, we'll just move directly into, reviewing and posting and completing the bank reconciliations in BSNA for your 2026 year end, which is the end of this month.
Are you in phase 1 or 2?
Well, we do a little bit of it all at the same time. I would say it's primarily phase 1, but one of the things we're going through and looking at what sort of transactions we need to make adjustments for. There's, observations we have and recommendations for ways to, do things moving forward, so there's not as many corrections that need to be made. So a little bit of both, but more phase 1 still at this point. Any questions?
I've got a question, and I don't care where the breakdown was, but you guys have spent 3 or 4 months working on this, just that. Is this something to position the district that you think that you could have done internally with the amount of time?
Would have been really.
How many hours would you have that your staff auditors have invested in this today?
Well, I think down the current bill, it does give.
It does break it down.
Yeah, probably over 300. It's just we have this many, and then of course, we talk about the major accounts, but then you still have, which we're closing those out, there's, there's still all the investment accounts, many of which are now closed and that's been consolidated, but, I think at one point, at the beginning of the fiscal year 25, there was,
In 22, there was almost 30.
yeah, so it's been
But we
coming.
had that now, we haven't had any more down in 25, 26. There was only one account closed in 25.
No, of course, many of those accounts would only have interest on them too, so it didn't take obviously very long to go through. Many of, those would require much more correcting entries, but, yeah, it's just, we haven't had any, I'd say the majority of the, corrections are on the general ledger side. Maybe not recording a transaction, recording it multiple times. So there's very few instances, really, I don't know if there's any instances where money came out of the bank account and there was no record of it in the general ledger, which is good, as well. Inadvertent duplicate postings or things a little bit, communicating a little bit later. So, yeah, no, it's, so, yes, specifically answered good question, but I mean, it's a lot of moving parts where they're all, the accounts are all.
So a bunch of part-time people up here had maybe difficulty doing what you have.
You'd have to give full-time.
The other question is with getting these taught, and if we adopt the recommendations on the process, this should never happen.
Yeah. But like I said, we talked about this before too, but you know, that's one of the things. Townships, maybe township size, for instance, you know, there's, well, almost all the townships across the state, while there's the, you know, the statutory duties of the clerk and the treasurer, you know, that there's also, you know, the requirement to appoint a deputy. In many townships, the deputies are doing a lot of work. I mean, I would say here, you know, you probably both work more than, you know, many of the other townships I work with the elected officials. But that's the prerogative of every township.
And there's communities, townships within our community that do have that full-time person dedicated to this type of activity on site within the facility.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways we see it, where there may be full-time, you know, deputy treasurer, deputy clerk, they're handling the day-to-day transaction, of course. You know, obviously, the board is acting on, you know, strategic, you know, and guiding the, you know, the direction of the township, but then that work is delegated, down to the staff. Some larger townships that I see, they would have full-time deputy clerk, treasurer, sometimes, maybe two people in an office, and these are a little bit larger townships. And then they may have a separate finance director who handles, you know, the budget, the audit, the monthly close, you know, the actual bank reconciliation, so it's separate from, you know, the two elected departments. Of course, that person, that's another thing delegated from the clerk, for, you know, his finance director duties, but, I'd say those typically be a little bit larger townships in here, but.
Thank you.
I have a question for this.
I do too.
Would you explain to the people here what reconciliation is and why we have to have it and what caused us to have a whatever reconciliation is? I have no idea what that means.
Go ahead. Balancing your checkbook, which most people don't balance their checkbooks, and, you know, personally, everyone there has everything online, but the process that, you know, we all do when we balance our, you know, checkbooks at the end of each month, that's what we're doing with the township. So we're making sure that everything that happened at the bank has been recorded in the books, and the reason why we do this too is then at the end of the year, every local unit of government has to have an independent auditor come in, and that's one of the things that they'll look at, is to make sure that we've had our checkbooks have been balanced or, you know, quote, reconciled. And that's not all of what they do for an audit. They also test to make sure that, you know, the township's, you know, stated budget compliance, that they have, you know, purchases are reviewed and approved by the board. But essentially, that's what that means.
So when was the last time the township had a reconciliation? And why?
A budget? Oh, I'm sorry,
When was the last time you had to hire somebody to go over the books? Does that happen every year?
from an audit perspective, yes.
From the audit perspective,
We
yeah.
have an annual audit. So
Oh,
that's
I can only
reconciliation.
listen to one person at a time. Thank you.
From an audit perspective, it's every year. From a reconciliation perspective, this is the first time.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because you're talking about 2025. Shouldn't that been done in 2025, not this year?
That's why we have the Raymond Group down. That's what they're completing for us. And maybe I'm misunderstanding. Suzie?
Yeah, when an invoice comes in, who receives it, the clerk or the treasurer? Who gets it?
Well, it probably depends on the invoice, doesn't it? Or is that Laura?
All invoices go to Laura.
Laura.
So then who puts it in the books?
That's the clerk.
And then who makes the entry? Same person?
Yeah, I do the deposits and the cash receipt and taxes.
Any other questions?
I wanna know how many townships are in the state of Michigan, and do you manage all of them? I think we're the
I
only,
don't know, well, I could, yeah.
I think we're the only state, though, that has so many independent townships.
I believe you're probably right.
There are 20 states, I believe, that townships.
But then,
But we have like 60 townships, no, more than that, 100 and some odd townships. We have a lot.
Well, there's 83 counties.
Yeah.
So there's at least, I mean, Midland County, we have, well, I'm not trying to do have at least 6 or 7, right?
no, there's
No, there's more.
a lot.
Now I want to find out.
So, to move on.
It's a big
next one,
problem.
we take a look at this. How many townships has the Raymond Group done this, facilitated this type of activity? Is it common?
Probably depends on the size of the township, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it's, so currently I have a few others that I'm working with this. I mean, there's also some townships where we work as the,
You manage their.
where we manage the books for them. 1,240 townships in the state.
Thank you.
Well, that's according to.
I'm writing it
yeah,
down.
So who knows if it's true or not, but that's what they say.
It sounds great.
You know, there are, I mean, if you look, you could ask the state, I mean, of course, you know, they look, you know, they're monitoring that as well. I mean, they monitor it based on, you know, reports, events, and you know, is it, by more common than you think it would? I mean, there's, you know, often, communities and upper peninsula have challenges with this, but, there's a whole state department that's dedicated to helping, and we talked a little bit about it. You know, helping local units government, not just townships, but, you know, cities, villages as well, so. But it's, I mean, it's one of those things that it gets away from you, it can be snowball pretty quickly, so.
I have another question. Looking at what you have in front of you, how much longer do you figure it's gonna take?
Well, like I said,
What's
through,
your,
yeah, I mean, through to get the 2025 things done,
where are you at in 2025?
well, so for of the main accounts, the fire and the payroll, those are totally done. When I say totally done, updating the system as well. We're about a third of the way through the review of the general fund, so we've had our, you know, we've had our team members go through and identify what needs to be corrected. We don't let them go into the system and post those entries.
So you're thinking like months or years? Because if you're in 2025 and you got
What-
2026 to go yet.
I would expect 2026 to go much quicker, because a lot of there was more activity and volume of transactions we have to look through in 2025. I mean, ideally, we'd like to be, I would hope we have significant progress with 2026, done by the next board meeting. I mean, we ideally want to be, we'd like to get, you know, an auditor out here for 2025, and then, you know, in my mind, the goal would be to have the 2026 audit close to being done within the due date, which is for all local governments in the state of Michigan, 6 months after the fiscal year end. So for the township, 3/31/2026. So you'd have, get it done before,
We usually start in June, July.
July.
So how much does this cost us, we township?
Yeah. a lot.
Well, we have phase two, that was guides, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so that's the other piece of this too, is,
They're the training guides.
right, in moving, you know, developing tools that everyone, that makes sense for everybody to use to get the monthly transactions reported at the time where they need to. And there, you know, there's other, you know, recommendations that we have. you know, that we're still working on, but as we see, there's usually more efficient ways to, you know, pay invoices, so it's not so manual, and time consuming for the township, so.
All right. Moving on to new business, the water bond audit agreement.
This is a standard requirement by the Midland County on our 40-year assessment for our loan. So we have to have an individual water bond audit every year. Runs $1,000 a year, and they renew this contract every 5 years.
So this is the first for this board to renew it. So it's boilerplate, it's requirement, you know, kind of go do.
Is this the same company that's been here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since 2007.
So there's no surprises here, it's at the fact that we're spending $1,000 a year for it, for 5 years. So I would make a motion to approve the water bond audit agreement as presented.
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to, approve the water bond with Bazinski and Company as presented. So, trustee Ryder,
Yes.
treasurer Hitt,
Yes.
and clerk, I will say yes, supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
and trustee List.
Yes.
Okay, so on here though, is this only if we're canceling it?
No,
Or
no.
because I saw that, and it's like, I was thinking, no, so we're gonna sign this, and then, so when I bring the checks in tomorrow, do you wanna witness it, or do you want me to witness it?
However you want to do it,
Okay.
just gotta get it into them.
Okay. So we will take care of this then tomorrow.
All right, next on the agenda is solid waste quotes. So, we have representatives from, the public and GFL in attendance tonight. And I apologize for the spreadsheets. This has been a long time coming. Now, as I said, if the board is not inclined or wants additional information, we do not need to make a decision tonight. And I've indicated that to both GFL and Republic. We can review it, we can have discussions with the representatives, asking questions, and at our budget meeting next Monday, we can make a decision. So what I have done in this crazy spreadsheet is multiple things. We have pricing per month for solid waste only, which curbside, which we have today. We have indicated pricing per month for recycling only. For 3 vendors, Priority, GFL, and Republic. I've indicated the cost per month curbside and recycling, as well as curbside only for all 3 companies to compare and contrast, as well as the cost for curbside and recycling. I've broken it out by the monthly cost, the annual cost per parcel, the annual cost for the entire overall township, as well as the total annual cost from an assessment perspective, which would include the refuse and recycle center and the landfill charges. This is simply the very last chart on the second page is simply our cost of recovery, without any increases, right? From an assessment or fee perspective for our residents. I know that's a lot, and we have a lot of data here. Does any board member have any questions at the moment about what was presented from either GFL or Republic? I would say those are the two that are the top contenders, right, for the board of three, based on cost and services.
So one question I would have is, some of the day they included additional carts, I'm assuming that is additional, not a replacement of one that's been damaged off the road.
No. So for GFL, any damage, the resident would be required to give a $75 fee, was my understanding, correct?
Yeah, as long as, if it's something that we would damage,
If the
no
GFL
operation,
brings
we
it-
would replace it, no charge.
Sometimes it's the snow plows
Yes.
going through
Yeah.
and they have just demolished.
And we have to pay.
So the resident would have to pay that 75?
Yes, we just replacing if we've done the damage, so either a lost part or a damaged part, yeah, what we would do, then yes, the resident would pay the additional part.
And Republic does not have that, correct?
We replace those cards at no charge.
Today, that's our current. Yeah, and many have, we're constantly submitting them for replacement.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
I got 5 last
So the
couple
big,
of weeks.
one of the big differences from the original 5-year contract is both of these contracts, there's no fuel surcharges, for either party. So either GFL or Republic, there's no fuel surcharge, for any of the cost options. Now,
It's all,
it's all in one, and in fact, I talked with DJ as well about, I told you about the most recent bill from the waste station.
yes,
Those will be removed because they were added in.
that's why we came to them, yeah.
The other piece of this is the waste station. So, for all three companies, this is the first page, top right. So we have waste station pricing for like, for the 42-yard containers, for the recycling hall, for any recycling processing fees, and for the 40-yard roll-offs as well. Now, this is a la carte, right? This was our discussion, is we don't necessarily get the pricing for A because of B. We can choose either or, right? We can stay with who we have today at the refuse and recycle center. We can move to Republic, based on cost, right? The one key that I did indicate in my email is the cost to have curbside recycling is about a $72,000 increase for the residents, for overall, but not per person, but that's per year, about $72,000. So we pay about $20,000, give or take, at the refuse and recycle center today for recycling. So it's something to discuss, right? It is a cost, and if you look at the very last page, for the total annual cost assessments with the dump and landfill, and total annual cost assessment with the dump and landfill, you're looking, this for curbside and recycling versus curbside only, this is just cost to recover. This doesn't include, again, any increases in the landfill, any buffer, right, to build our account up a little bit. You're looking at curbside and recycle to about $240 a year. Right now, it's $200 a year, is what our assessment is. And again, this doesn't include any, this is just recovery. Comparatively to the total annual cost for curbside only of under $200 a year. So it is a $40–50 a year difference to the residents from a fee or assessment cost perspective. Both contracts are 5 years.
Kim, if we chose the, it was the curbside and not the recycling curbside, can we add recycling within that next 5 years, add on to our contract, or no?
That's a good question. Would we be able, the contract state we can renegotiate, but would that be an option? Senator Dick, to add on curbside?
Yeah, just see what it would, I don't think that we would say that it's not an option. Obviously, when we're deploying carts, if we're gonna be a thousand, we could operate the carts. both waste and recycling carts. So at that time, yeah, it's not, I don't think it's a no.
So it's a possibility, it would just, I wonder if it would make the contract start again from that date, or would it continue?
It would have to be a negotiation.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the problem with doing that is just the cost of the carts and how you're gonna spread that cost out. So typically, we would extend the contract, so that those carts, when they're first put out, we got at least a 5-year commitment on the deal for the carts.
And I know that a large volume at the refuse and recycling center today is simply recycling, right? And
$50,000 difference.
right.
My question now too is, when it comes to the recycling, currently, we're not paying a landfill cost on the recycling.
Correct.
Because it goes different place.
So it's a different place.
If we
So when we're doing recycling bins at people's homes, where's that recycling going? Is it going, and we're gonna have a cost there, because there is a surcharge if you do, on one of the contracts and not on the other one. So I'm just wondering, is there processing on the bins that'll go to the house?
There is, I believe there is, I'm one that.
No, well,
It would be included in the price that was quoted.
yeah, it's all inclusive in our rate. Is it possible to share, what the rates are that we're talking about here? Or a spreadsheet would be awesome.
What's that, Ken?
Maybe your spreadsheet would be awesome.
I don't have a copy.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, but there's no additional charge, so I'll throw it out there. Republic quoted $4.50 for every other week carted
For
recycling.
the recycling.
And that's what the rate is. Now that rate,
From there.
yeah, and that rate increases in year 2 by 4%. And those prices have all been submitted for all 5 years. But there's no additional processing fees
Right.
for the recycled material.
So, what's that?
It does say here, $105 a ton processing.
That is on the drop-off container at the transfer
If
station.
we just change that, yeah.
We don't pay for that now.
No, we
that's
don't.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's, yeah, that was a little confusing, and that is,
And if there's a change midterm, how does that go through the BSNA system to get back to the property owner?
Well, the good news is, it'll happen this winter.
right?
Oh, okay.
Not now, but
Not
not
now.
until
Yeah,
Right.
right.
26 winter.
Winter
Whatever
time.
Okay.
That's this year, so.
Okay, and then if there's a
When we
change
start
in the
doing
5-year, like to, you decide to put the recycling at the curb, there'd have to be another change made in the SNA by property, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Residents don't want the recycling at the curb. I had a lot of questions on that. The people are asking if they want just curbside and no
So
compactor.
let me ask this,
And
what
then
if we
vice
don't want
versa.
curbside? I mean, how far do we wanna go,
Right.
right?
I
And I
had a
don't,
lot of questions this year on it, and then the A one remove the assessment, or want to understand what their assessment, and I explained, your current assessment pays nothing for the compactor.
right, no.
So I've explained all that, well, they said, well, with your new budget coming up, are they gonna offer us an option either to opt out of curbside or opt out of solid waste refuse center? And I said, and don't you know that, yes.
I don't
So
even know how we would do that.
That would be.
that was, I just presented it. I tried to tell the
So
rest.
I do want to add something. I have a friend that is a supervisor in another, in Isabella County. They do not have any services. And they pay over $100 a month per parcel themselves personally to have the service. And the residents, choose a business, and they have their choice of whomever they want to choose. But the residents do not want the township to have an agreement and a mass pickup, right? They still get the service, but they want to control it and write that check every month themselves.
Curbside is much cheaper going to the
Much,
township.
yes, it is.
And I think with an aging community, I mean, who's gonna want to service, garbage pickup, every couple of years again. We already have to do that now because just of pricing issues, with insurances and stuff, but I think we're very fortunate in the township to have both. And I'm a dump lover. I mean, refuge center.
Yeah, absolutely.
One comment was made as far as like the recycling, and, I asked someone, and they said, yeah, I would use it at my curbside. We did go to recycling center, but we kind of dropped off, and we would use it at curbside. And I says, well, for an additional, I said approximately $40. She goes, well, probably not, because we still like to go to, metal recycling.
Yeah. The
So,
services that are.
yeah, so then, since we do offer metal recycling, that's a little additional to actually going to the center to do so.
And to your point, Wayne, I have used my can less than 10 times in 5 years, right? Probably. I think I've used it once this year so far. So I understand, right? I hate it. I hate dragging it up. I get it, but,
I go months without,
but you're also going to the, you're
I
driving down
never
there.
take garbage to the repurpose center.
Do you want to manage it person by person?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that would be.
Okay.
No, unless someone, no, I think that would make hiding in my life.
Yeah, I wasn't suggesting
The
that.
dump cards, can be interesting on how many I reprint in a month. Not reprinting, I have to void them automatically, and then we have to reprint a new card. So,
It's a long process, and so the way that it works is I, as the assessor, Heidi and I have to communicate for each parcel, who should have how many solid waste numbers, right? And it would be, I can even imagine having to manage it otherwise. With having options to every, up to 1,000
it has to be
parcels.
very clear, very precise, very understandable, or it would not work.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And that would change the amount too.
It would.
If someone opted and
It would.
someone opted out.
Equalization would hate them.
Yeah, and
They would.
Yeah, but for us that don't use it at all, we're having to pay for it. So why should we pay for it when we're not using it?
What do you use?
Well, we bring our recyclables down to you.
At
At the way station, so then you
So you
are
are
using it, just not using it at home.
We're paying more.
Well, what you're running.
But you're not paying anything actually for the refuse center. So, we told that,
We're still having to pay for it.
that was how we were able to do the hybrid version.
yeah, and there's no discussion here about, and I know I've heard all kinds of rumors, there's no discussion about closing the refuse and recycling center. That is.
Or getting rid of curbside.
Getting rid of curbside. That's not an option, that's not been discussed, there's no changes there, right? That's from a proposal perspective. In fact, all the estimates we received was inclusive of both hybrid options.
The big choice is recycling at the refuse center or curbside, that's the big decision.
Well, here's the thing, if you guys can get a Facebook group that's not unbiased, don't choose sides or go in with the drama and all that, you guys can put a thing on there with survey to see who wants recyclable, who don't. That would give you guys a better idea who wants it and who don't. Like as far as if it's needed.
It's an option, yeah. I mean, I know that there's
They do both.
a lot of feedback that I receive, people do want it, but they also don't know what the cost is. Right?
I think the cost will be a factor.
Yeah.
If they could go once a month to a recycle center and dump off their recycling, they may opt for that versus an extra $40 or $50 on their taxes. From what I've heard.
Yeah, I would agree.
People coming in.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I mean, as far as our cost, it's not gonna make a difference as far as the township at recycling bin at the refuse center just wouldn't be empty very often. Cause there'll be still some people that will still use it.
Absolutely.
So it just wouldn't be emptied as often if you did it at
Thing
curbside.
of this, then you're carrying 2 containers out to the road.
I know,
And there's some
I
people
love one,
Yeah,
but I don't use.
right.
Takes up too much room in my shed. Just my opinion. cleaning, that's what I use it for. So, any other discussion for either GFL or
I have one question for Jim.
Republic?
I got one question. You said the replacement carts would be $75,000. The original, if the contract is signed with you, are the residents getting stock at that 75 as well, or do you?
Well, there's, that's included, one part's included, and then, you could do recycling, that part is included as well. So let's do the fees because that's what they cost us for purchase. We're not making any money on it, and then we just deliver it at the price.
Totally understand.
So you guys only pick up your carts, or you pick up other carts that the people have? Like if I had one for the public, one for you guys, would you take those home?
So the township, a lot of municipalities that we work with are, you know, they have a 2 or 3 cart limit.
But what she's asking is, if we have our old Republic one and switch to GFL, are you gonna pick up Republic bins?
If that's, if you're okay with us picking them up, you know, that's a township. And we'll do whatever you guys need to do. But that's, you know, you want multiple color, that's totally on the township. It doesn't matter to us, we pick up,
I have another location that because the township apparently didn't allow it, because it was a flat cart from the flood, and
They broke it.
they smashed it. GFL
and that, you know, that depends if the public haulers, sometimes they pull their carts up, sometimes they do, so it just depends on what the scenario is, we don't have a preference.
So another car, any type of car is better than just
Pick
bags.
up bags.
We have.
So,
We have to have
that is a difference to discuss, good point.
You know, where they outside the bin.
Carol, just one second. Right, so Republic will pick up trash beside the containers, right? They will get off, and I don't believe GFL has that option.
Yeah, we can pick that up, that's, I mean, it's just again, that's a town, that goes back to the township.
I think somebody, one of these said 35 pounds.
Yeah. For the trash, yeah. And would it have to be loaded by equipment, or would the personnel actually get off and?
We have, both units, we have, the gravel can that has the arm on it, that goes in up over top, we have those. We have a 2-man unit where there's a guy in the back of the truck, so we just, it just depends on what's scheduled here, so. Both items pickup is just as long as it's out there, you know, we'll typically take it. It may take an extra day, but typically everything that's on the ground that day, will be on us. Unless there's some sort of hazard to it, or we'll tag it, or if it's just too heavy, where the guys can't move it out.
Right now, I know if somebody has a mattress they drag out, they have to call Republic to let them know there's heavy items. I don't have a problem. What is the scenario?
We don't require a call, I mean, if you can give us a courtesy, someone can give us a courtesy call, we can let the guys know what to expect or not, that's appreciated, but we'll just, we can.
So it would leave on the normal truck, the normal route truck,
Yeah.
essentially. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to call anymore for both to schedule both. No, our drivers are radioing in the dispatch, and both kinds are in the dispatch in the truck. I just have one question before you get too far down the path. So Republic's currently charging you $10.28 per home per month for the solid waste. And that's the same rate you're paying currently. So we held that rate firm for the 26 rate, or the 25 rate would be good for 26. I'm just curious, what's GFL's rate? I'm just curious.
So curbside year one is at $11.75.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Do we have any reviews, like we've dealt with Republic, do we have any reviews or we dealt with GFL?
We've dealt with GFL at the, GFL's been fantastic at the refuse and recycle center.
But residential curbside.
Have we heard anything from anybody, any other townships or any other individuals?
I think it's a mix, I think that's what we're going to get, you know what I mean, that's what we're going to get, the same as what, you know, you either like it or you don't, or, you know, you have frustrations or you don't.
I hate the trash from the public garbage trucks, that they don't care. If it goes out, they don't pick it up.
That's why it's
There's a
supposed to
lot of
be
trash
bagged.
on the road every public.
And I think it's just the nature of the trucks. I picked up, 2 compactor bags of trash from 9 Mile to Rusty Lane one year. That was actually from Greendale Township, and I found the user phone numbers on it, and I called the individual because I thought it was strewn out, right? And the lady that I had contacted, she was super appreciative. Can you drive home? We'll get you on, man.
I figured somebody would.
Anyways,
Me too.
it had burped out at the top, right? So they contacted, and it was from Greendale Township, it was Castor Road. And the lady was, again, very appreciative, very apologetic, I'm so sorry. I was thinking it was young kids or someone that was just messing around and just threw trash over a quarter mile, half a mile down the road.
And I also think some of it is, the lids are supposed to be closed.
And it's supposed to be
And-
bagged.
And I'll admit, there are times that I work before we reopen the dump. There were times that my lid was not closed because I do not, it was all bagged. But, so I think that's part of it too, because it's out there, the wind's blowing, or if it's not, if the lid's not shut and they're picking up stuff, you know. So it's,
And that's gonna be with anyone.
I'm not gonna throw a public under the bus.
Oh, good gosh, no. So, what are the thoughts? Do we want to make a decision tonight on one of these providers? Do we want to discuss it at the?
My thoughts that I'm leaning towards is, not curbside recycling. That's the one thing that I'm leaning towards, because of the cost difference. If they can have that opportunity.
I understand, yeah, I don't disagree. I know that it's, regardless of whatever choice is made, it's going to upset people.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
either way.
That's one decision, but then when you do that,
For 50,000 difference a year roughly, I would prefer to just keep the recycling and the repurposing.
Works,
It works better. Yeah, and
I am too.
I mean, look how many people were upset when we went from Dove to having Republic, now you guys wanna switch it to bring in recycling or something.
No, it's
What
just
does that happen?
our contract is up with Republic, so we have to review it.
Yeah.
It's time to review it. It's not that we're wanting to make changes, but that's the time to.
Well, you're doing it right now, works out very.
Yeah, but think back 5 years ago, what we're doing right now.
I still like.
Everyone was all like, you know what I mean? Like, and myself included, right? So I understand everyone's
Just gotta
perspective.
tell you guys, I'm pretty proud of you there.
Doug is still running around picking up.
No, our contract with Republic is up, I think, next month, May.
Yeah, end of April.
So we have to decide, are we gonna renew our contract with them for what we have and stay with GFL, or we're gonna go with one over the other?
Let's have a bidding auction, fellas. What can you do for us?
I think we already have that. So it also boils down to the assessment cost, right? I mean,
Is that gonna
what
cover both?
what I have put here, is again, just the recovery. It doesn't include anything else. And I mean, our assessment costs are going to go up no matter what, because everything goes up, right? So that's something that folks are going to have to, we're at $200 now, and we're looking at, I don't know, I'll put some calculations here, it's 200 just to recover, right?
Yeah. I'd like to see us have all of our bills in to see where we landed in this year in the final.
Yes, agreed, in fact, I used, Laura had sent me the last bill, so once we see what posted, this could change the numbers, a little bit, you're right.
I mean, I think we're under budget.
We are in the budget,
Not by line item,
But total, Laura and I have some changes to make, that we're going to work on after these get posted.
How about landfill costs? Didn't I hear they were going up?
They go up every year.
they did.
Okay.
But that-
More than normal, or?
Well, in Midland, because we're Midland County, we have to use the Midland City landfill.
Right.
They are significantly higher than any other
Everybody else
landfill.
around.
Yeah.
It's generally anywhere from 15 to 16,000 a quarter.
So,
They had, like, when they went up last year was the first time in a long time, I thought.
I think so, that's what the letter had said.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been every year, it had been quite a while since it.
Yeah.
So, even though there's a lot.
Right.
But in the first year, we found we saved over $30,000 because we were using the repurpose center or the refuge center and curbside together.
Yeah, the amount of money,
Really did take our costs way down.
the amount of money we're saving by not throwing the stuff in the repurchase part in the dumpsters anymore.
it is.
But it's the recycling everything.
And so
So it's getting used, and I have numbers.
One thing helps is now having other townships using our center.
What, Elaine, would you say?
Other townships are not using our plates,
Right.
other
Total
than,
for 2025, 4,801 people stopped. Now, that does not include all of the donations or all the pickups. We haven't been running up to the building to get partners.
For
So,
For
they
donations.
came in specifically for repurpose, they're not in this number, but 4,800 people have used the services.
4,800
Stops
Okay.
in the refugee.
For
Some type
For the
of.
year.
For the year 2025.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is. And the curbside on top of that.
Right.
We are having, good luck, good service with the roll-ups and everything.
Yes,
with the
yeah,
GFL.
no issues. We had a little few hiccups recently, but I think that they've been taken care of.
North Nine Mile, I just heard tonight, North Nine Mile did not get picked up.
Again? Okay.
So I suggested that they message, I didn't call that in without, so I don't know what happened down that way.
I haven't heard. Is it the whole road or just?
I asked for people to contact, so then we would know, because I don't wanna call it in and just say North Nine Mile.
North Nine Mile, yeah.
I wanna kinda give up.
Well, Kevin's here, he's hearing us.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, no, that's there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just a couple of houses, or if it was like a full mile, I don't know that yet. So I'll find out and then I'll send an email out.
Okay.
Usually it's south 9 Mile, it's.
Yeah, it's not, north, North
Yeah.
9 Mile
Yeah.
doesn't usually have this happen, so.
Any other discussion on this, or do we,
Whether we go tonight or later, I feel comfortable with kind of where we are.
Okay.
Staying with who we are with and how we are doing it. Which is all curbside recycling, GFL at the landfill, or at the recycle center, Republic for our curbside. That's what I feel comfortable.
Is that your motion?
or do you want to wait and,
Are we ready to follow that? I mean, how's everyone else feel?
I would like to wait until the budget meeting
Okay.
in order to set the assessment at
I
that
was
time.
thinking that.
Okay,
we
yeah,
can-
that makes sense.
You know, so we can have our final numbers.
Yeah.
I'm in that direction myself, right? I don't disagree
Yeah.
with your assessment. It's just we have, to Heidi's point, a little gap,
Yeah.
and, we have to put an adder to what we have here, again, because this is just recovery, right? I mean, we have to put something in for people that don't pay their taxes, and, you know,
Yeah.
because we still have bills to pay.
We're still gonna get one more landfill. You know, it won't come out till April, but it's for March, it's for the first
Yes,
year.
yes.
So we have one more, so that's.
We can estimate that
Yeah.
now,
Yes.
based on
But
that.
I mean, estimate that and put it in before we make a decision on
So
what the assessment.
And what I did, just for your information, I used the budgeted amount, the estimated budget for this assessment of the 55,000.
That's
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
ready before.
So now, it's pretty well, now we'll be going, next Monday.
I would like to put these numbers over, I think the budget meeting is the right place to make a decision. I know what I'm feeling, but I want to
scrutinize the numbers, look at look at the calculations. You have everything that I have in your inbox and printed as well.
That's more money than I'm comfortable spending without thinking.
No, I agree, there's a lot going on, so, based on this, I think we will table the solid waste until budget meeting next Monday. Any other questions for either Kevin or DJ?
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you both. Yes, Don.
What's the difference between voting for that now and waiting until after you've had a budget meeting?
To get the full cost of what we're really actually spending with the last couple of bills we don't have yet, plus looking at what we have for assessments for next year, to see, just to be sure before we make a decision on this, to add in the recycling or not. It's a good choice to wait a week, in my thoughts.
Well, y'all pretty much know what the people in the township are, I don't think, I don't see.
We want to make sure when we do this, that we set the assessment rate as well, that correctly, the rate that comes on your taxes, right? That's what we want to ensure, that it's 100%. So we're recovering enough from you as a taxpayer to pay the bill. That's what we need to make sure of. And we have a break-even point, but we're gonna have to run a few more numbers and crunch it and see where we wanna, where we're comfortable. Because again, we as the board will pay for any change that we make, any cost increase that we make. And that's the nature of the world, everything's going up, right?
And we've been able to lower it a couple times.
And add services.
Yeah, so.
I don't think we're there this time. I don't think we're there anymore. So, yep, we'll wait for Laura to. 5-minute recess.
Still got horns? I can't hear. When was that picture? I don't trust these people. That's why I know it. They sneak something through it.
All right, now everybody's back. Next on the agenda is the
The late make the decisions and the rest of us have to do that.
So when we brought Chief Coughlin into the township to replace Chief Darrow, with his, resignation, the initial scope was interim fire chief. And to be honest, I forgot all about it, that we had done that. He just did that. It was supposed to be interim and, to get us up and going and find a replacement, and it's been going great. So I would like to basically change his title, make a motion to change his title officially to permanent fire chief of Lee Township.
Or just fire
Or
chief.
just fire chief, like, take the interim off.
Yeah, take interim off, make him fire chief. Then I'll second that.
And now is a good time to do that too, because of budget and the GAA, and that can all go on the web.
Now, if he's made permanent fire chief, is that more money than what he's getting now?
No.
So it's been moved and seconded to, remove the verbiage interim from Chief Coughlin's title, and we are going to call him Fire Chief, the Township Fire Chief. So, I have no idea where I'll start with the lady. Treasurer Pitt,
Yes.
clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
trustee List,
Yes.
and trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Motion carried. So like I said, when we do the GAA, we'll have to make sure that's in all of the.
I don't think it does.
It may or may not put on the website or
No, it's-
whatever.
No.
It's more of a formality.
It is.
It's usually like a permanent fire chief.
Yeah.
So it was encouraged.
So it's, and it was brought up within the department, so
Okay,
thank you. All right, next on the agenda is splash pad repair and replacement. And everyone should have a packet of information of this enclosed. So, and I'm not also proposing, Heidi and I have had a discussion, we've had a discussion with our park committee, right, that we meet every Friday at 4 o'clock, for how many years, Heidi? A couple of years now. And one of the initiatives is, well, we're doing the Sparks implementation, the new ADA playscape, and it's also just overall park updates, integration, what's next, what we're doing. Last year, it was identified, last spring, when we opened up the splash pad, that we had some features that were not working, 3 of them to be exact. Water was bubbling up from under the pad. The DPW, dug it up, at least at the head of it, where it comes out of the pump house and goes kind of 45s underground. Well, what was found is that the pipe that was used was Schedule 80 pipe. However, the 45s that were used were Schedule 40. So, they do not obviously have the strength of the Schedule 80. We have to assume that the same was done under the entire splash pad.
There's 4 features down there.
4 now? Oh, okay. I knew we were 3. Oh, 3 was last year.
2, and then the third one that came in last year, so that's 4 features basically now.
So, there's several reasons for this. I mean, it could have been, at some point, it could have been prior to us, or anything could happen, right? It could have froze, right? It could have had improper winterizing. It happens, who knows? The unit is 15 years old, I believe, roughly.
doesn't seem like it's been that long.
And so we did get some quotes last year on repair and or replacement. Now, the pump house, everything in the pump house is fine. It does not need to be upgraded, it does not, the vortex equipment does not need to be changed out, with whatever option we choose. And let me be clear, I am not suggesting, similar to the solid waste, I'm not suggesting we make a decision tonight. This might also be a budgetary discussion, right? Quite possibly, because there's a huge cost difference between repair and replacement. So So we might want to look at the overall budget numbers before we make a determination. I know what direction I am leaning. The cost to repair it is around $19,000-$20,000. And that's just digging in. They're going to have to start cutting the concrete from the east, kind of to the west, because that's where they're having the issues. I believe there's also one closer to the middle.
Yes.
That's bubbling up on that outer ring. And it's bringing sand up with it, right, that's underneath the pad. Right now, those features have been turned off. This splash pad is a huge draw to the park, right? People come from all over, right? Outside of Midland County, all townships within Midland County, right?
Let them pay for it.
So I guess what's the difference?
So what you're seeing is the first page is a bid,
Yeah.
and there's a couple different options.
It's
So-
options of which features we.
Yeah, so these are just high level. If we go with either direction, we'll need to get new quotes, right? The repair quote is $19,000, and then it's basically time and material, and they're thinking 5-day time frame, right? This was in December.
What is fix it, get up and run?
To correct the.
Bare minimum,
bare
just to
minimum.
fix those elements.
And again, more could be determined when reviewing it, right? And probably with plumbing, it always is, right? I mean, how many trips do you take to the hardware, right?
27.
Right, so the other options we have from Michigan Recreation, it's about $200,000, $250,000 to replace it.
But
It's
then
not
we've got another probably 20 years of it.
Right,
And we have the equipment on the inside, we have spare parts on the inside for the pump house and stuff. Just, we need the features to work. And the concrete's getting fitted where you're spinning your feet.
and so one option that was discussed is like doing a core, cutout and then, kind of going underneath, but that poses other problems as well, potential problems. So, again, the DPW have been putting Band-Aids on this for a couple of years now. So, it's time for something, it's time for some maintenance. Now, the other suggestion that I have is we need to look at having committed funds specifically for the splash pad repair and replacement going forward.
Well, we've gotten grants before for that's how the splash pad came about.
It is, yeah. But I'm speaking more just the maintenance. I mean, we can, if we wanted to work with the grant committee, we could omit this and work with what we have and see if the grant committee can.
Well, even if we got a grant that was, grant for half and we pay half, would be awesome.
It would.
50-50.
But again, that's a big.
We still should budget whatever.
And then. Well, we should, in my opinion, we should budget, if we're going to go the whole thing, we need to budget the whole amount, and then hope that we can get a grant, right, if that's the direction that the board chooses.
Do you have an idea how, if they were to replace, what kind of time frame?
We think we're gonna be down for a little.
It was about 30 days, if I remember correctly.
Because you gotta tear out the concrete pad, do all the work underneath, then replace the concrete with the new features.
And if we do a replacement, it will, right now, our options are fix what we have and get all our features back. Or replace it, and if we replace it and put new stuff in, it would have more features than if we fix.
Yes,
broken.
yeah, absolutely.
So if we
It's an
replace.
improvement, it's a huge
Right,
improvement.
it would be, yeah,
So the other piece of this is the concrete, you made a valid point. With at least the one, not the Sinclair, it was the other one, the Michigan Recreational Construction, we can, do the demo ourselves, and that would be eliminated, right? I don't know what the other piece, but I think it was $20,000 reduction if we tore the concrete out and
I think
disposed of
Sinclair
it
would do the
ourselves.
same thing.
Oh, I'm sure they would, but I just remembered
I
that
think
as,
you get a bunch of people from the community to go over there and help with demolition.
Then you're probably gonna have to do
Liability, probably.
yeah, we could just rent, I talked to Mark, we could rent a mini excavator and just, between that and a skid steer, and we can do it in-house and haul it out, right? Dig up, cut the lines.
It's a big demolition, so not, more equipment than people.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were to do a new build, with what is left and working, is that something to be saleable or is it just scrap and stuff?
Say it again, Greg.
The equipment we have now, we'll keep a couple on that. The equipment that's still working, if we do a complete rebuild, it is done.
When you say equipment is still working, what's working is the brass pieces, the fittings are working,
That we bought.
and the pump house is working. It's the lines underneath it that have failed.
And we could keep the same, well, ideally, we could, maybe we could keep the same fence, but it depends, because we have an opportunity to expand a little bit, right? With the designs. These designs are by no means in stone, right? These were just proposals to get an estimate, to get us a discussion point, yeah.
But all of them will work with the tank that we have, in certain places, the water, through the filter system, all of that's still feasible and working good. It's just the piping underneath that's causing all of that. And the
Yeah.
Question, just a thought perhaps, where you're, mentioning, setting aside funds and stuff, that, a thought is where we have other townships that are interested in using this, that perhaps you could reach out to those townships and perhaps have a, little chip in from them maybe into the general fund for maintenance.
Every little bit.
Like a little contract kind of thing, like you do for fire, kind of do it for the park. Just, you know, maintenance stuff. Just a thought. Well, no, they just,
No, it's a valid thing.
yeah, just a thought for a contract saying, hey, like Wesleyan Center, type thing, you know, the community center stuff, that kind of thing.
Right.
Chip in.
And I just wanted to say that the grant committee will immediately start looking into providing assistance, whichever direction you guys go. So maybe we can get something.
And even the other townships, they might be able to do stuff too.
Yeah.
Pull more
Yeah.
in for it.
Our grant committee can reach out to another township's grant committee if they have one
They
and
each pull it in and chip into it.
see what we can do.
Yeah. And I wanna say, speaking of the grant committee, I have been to a lot of other townships recently helping assessors and different things. And, many communities do not have grant committee like we do. So, they're doing it by the supervisors doing it and trying to get things done. They're doing a decent job, but, everyone, including the village of Sanford, has been very impressed with our setup for the grant committee.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
So from a board perspective, what are your thoughts? Do we want to wait until the budget meeting to have a final, we can put some numbers in the budget and see where we're at? Overall,
Are we prepared, like, if we replace, are we motivated, prepared to redesign quickly?
yes. Yes.
I think the designs are already out.
We have the
We have
design.
designs, we just have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
My, just so everyone is clear, as long as it's affordable, my recommendation is I want to replace it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where?
That's what I'm at, because you can only fix things so many times before it's.
Yeah, and the park committee did recommend this to be
So,
replaced.
I
I understand affordability.
I mean, you look at our multi-purpose court, you look at the beach volleyball, you look over here at the new play skate, you look at all that, and then.
We have a patched together slab.
Because it was the first thing.
You'd have a lot more stuff if you just replaced it, wouldn't you?
Yes, that was what I was getting at, is if we replace it.
But
we
we're
have more
saving the cost of not having to replace the big tank, we don't have to replace all the pumps and all that
The
system, the
filters,
sand filter, all those great things, the computer module, all of that doesn't have to be replaced. So that's a huge savings compared to what you're looking at.
It would
Right,
double.
because you don't have to keep fixing it, get it all back together.
It would double
Shit, I
the
should've
cost,
fixed that.
it would double the cost to replace that other equipment. It was my
But it would last,
Another 15 years,
yeah,
20 years.
forever, as opposed to just chasing parts. I don't know if you ever chased plumbing through a house, but you
Oh,
fix
yeah,
one
no.
thing and then you
Another
have to fix
thing,
the
yeah.
Right, we
other.
fix it and it runs this year, what do we have to fix next year?
Yeah.
Replace it.
I would
The
say,
water tower's been that way. Since this board got in, we have had to repair the water tower every year. And finally, they just turned off one of those.
And she's saying water tower, and my first mind went to water tower, but
Oh,
no,
it's not that one.
Not
It's like a spray off, like a
Shower
shower,
water,
yes.
with the drinking fountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did, and my mind went right to me, like, what are you talking about?
I don't, myself, I don't have a design that I'm aiming for.
No, the biggest thing I've heard repairs though was the dump bucket.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody would love a dump
Yeah.
bucket in our splash pad.
So, say that again.
Which vendor are you kind of thinking?
I am not, so I did not provide the Michigan recreational.
Design, this company didn't design, this is just basically.
They did the design
Like
as
that
well.
would be fixed, this would be replaced.
If you-
This would only be like.
If you look in the
Unless
email,
we were able to.
if you look in the very first email, they gave a proposal of $200,000. Now, what they provided is, I didn't print it out, it's a whole lot of graphics and different things, right? That would be phase 2, if you will, to decide what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it
So
would
around
be,
200, no matter.
it's gonna be
which.
2 to 250.
Yeah,
Uh,
but if this decision is made to actually, to vamp this up and get everything repaired like it needs to be and it's solid on the top, it'll last, but not only that, we'll be able to get it done before the hottest part of the summer.
Yes.
Because we hopefully, if we make this decision next week, can get on their calendar first in line.
Well, right.
As soon as the weather breaks, they can, because the weather doesn't have to break for us to tear up concrete.
Yeah.
The weather needs to break for them to dig underneath and do all. Yeah.
Every four.
I think our park's gonna get a lot of extra press and activity.
Well, if you think of Porter Townships don't have a park, they
Yeah,
don't have a.
right. But I mean, from all over the state, they're gonna be coming to that park.
I talked to people driving out from Midland, because they like our park better than one of them.
So I
Well,
will,
there's a lot of autistic kids, so
I
they like
do
it
want to-
fenced in.
Yeah.
work with Sinclair. How old are these folks? They're not that old.
No, it took us a
Just
while.
It took us a long time to get, so all of them.
But these are still, he called, and I talked to him before our last park, right after our last park meeting. And these are still good with him.
I can contact John from
He just cannot guarantee the schedule until we commit, then we get us on the schedule. If we go with them, I didn't guarantee it, I just. If we're gonna do this, it'd be great to get it on the schedule now and have it work, break ground before the summer gets hot. And where it's located won't impact people with graduation parties and that stuff in April and May. You know,
So
they
far,
just
I
won't
think
have
there's
that.
only one rental in Angel. And if
Well,
we,
we can hear some restaurants.
right, if we do this, then we make, so we do need to make a decision, because if we do this and we get on theirs, we're probably gonna have to cancel that one, because especially, like you said, if there's no bathrooms, and then we're gonna have to not do any rentals then for April, so.
Well, that's just weather, that's just the weather. If the weather breaks, your restrooms will be fine, they can cut the water off at the
So then the rental could go through, okay.
They just will not have access to the
Flashback, well, that doesn't open till,
till the water.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, so.
So if we could get on their schedule, we could potentially possibly open on the Lord, we could save dollars. Hopefully. Lot of good stuff.
And these two both are from Sinclair, but it's just different.
The one has the big bucket.
I
Right.
So the one has the big bucket, the 247.
And there's
That's the big bucket. But when you look at the second one, you can put the big bucket in there and then remove some of the others and just do our arches and things like that. So there's a way to keep it around that 200,000 mark versus, and still get the bucket.
Yeah, and there's features that, ours just shoots up right now, there's features that are like a rounded pole that you go under that are spraying, you know, there's all kinds of
So
different.
it'll still fit all the different age age groups.
Yeah.
It just, the layout will transition smoother and more
And
efficiently.
the proposed is still round, it's still the same.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit bigger.
Our benches on the inside will be fine, our benches on the outside aren't gonna have to move. All of that will be good. So, I think they even added in if we wanted to change the floor sensor to an upright sensor.
Yeah, that was.
I think that was in there as well. Just because kids can follow the footprints to the sensor, but sometimes adults don't follow.
They do not.
They look for something to touch, and ask a kid. Kids will follow footprints if you leave the footprints there.
Deer and a tree and a moose and a duck.
Yeah.
And a dragonfly and a butterfly.
It matches with all the other stuff.
Yep.
It would be a great upgrade. It's expensive, but.
So
it's-
we could go with this one, but eliminate to be able to bring the bucket in and still stay right around it.
So if we committed to doing this tonight and we could get on the schedule, we could pick and choose what we wanted next week.
Yes.
If we would just get them on the schedule.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna be ready to be doing this stuff.
But the sooner we get on the calendar.
Right, that's what I'm saying, if we commit to this tonight, we get on the calendar, and it's good if it's a.
So then if we're gonna do that, then why don't we commit and say to stay around the 2 mark and change what we need to change to get the bucket in there and take away what we need to take away.
You want to,
Yeah.
we're looking at the budget?
We could at least tell
I don't
them,
know that, but I just.
you got the money in the
We
investment.
do, we have the money, I'm not concerned about that, I just.
So,
So then, all right, does the board agree to vote on it tonight?
I'm really sure.
You know
As
what?
long as we stay right
I have a
around the 2.
motion, I have a motion in my, oh, so my motion was higher than that.
Well.
I'm
speaking
first.
So I'm gonna throw something out here, and you tell me if it sticks, and I'm kind of looking at you, Heidi.
okay, unless,
That we commit to up to $250,000 for full replacement of the splash pad.
I love it.
I mean, it's a lot, we can customize it under
It
that.
gives us some
Gives us
wiggle
some
room.
wiggle room if we run into some other problems, we'll just back over.
Yep.
But try to stay as close, much lower as we can,
Right.
but that way we
Just
don't
because
have
we
to
said
come
that,
back,
yeah.
we don't have to come back and ask for more.
Yes.
We're committing
Up
with,
to,
with Sinclair and then.
well, no, I think up to 250, but we can talk, well, okay, yeah,
We do have
do
to.
we want to commit to Sinclair? Is
I
that,
wanna get on the calendar.
Yeah,
I
let's
can't
get
get on
it.
the calendar, he's the one that's got it.
And I feel like they
they've
did us
done
good.
fantastic,
Yes,
we
they
have two
I'm good with
grants,
Sinclair.
so then let's modify that, up to $250,000, with Sinclair Recreation.
All right, Supervisor Kruger made a motion to, up to 250,000 with Sinclair for full replacement of the splash pad. Trustee List seconded that, correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
All right, so as clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee List,
Yes.
Trustee Ryber,
Yes.
and Treasurer Pitt.
Yes.
So you're gonna work with them then and see
Sure.
what?
All right, fantastic.
I'll send an email to the park group and say we
did it.
committed, we are committed, and then I will call you everyone. And let you guys know as soon as we get on the calendar, get the date set, and then we can.
You'll do this with them too, and if you need anything from me, they should have their taxis down there. Because we just did that, I don't think there would be a color selection in there because it would be whatever
Whatever they have.
individual thing is, so.
He's gonna have to send us another one of these anyway, because if we say, hey, we want the.
Oh, it says option 2,
Right,
yeah,
yeah, so we'll have to have a new one of these anyway,
okay.
but just the last part was the bucket in it and swapping out some of it. So I'll send you out a new one.
Do they have pictures by chance?
Oh my gosh.
There are,
We have
If you go to Beaverton, Beaverton has one of the big dump buckets in their splash pad, and that is always full.
Okay,
So I will try to send out what I have, if large files and they take down one of their.
Just go to Simply Recreation.
So,
Just go there.
I know on
It's
the,
splash pad and you'll see everything he's mentioned.
and on the agenda, we have the ribbon cutting ceremony to talk about. So let's have a board that day, and
Well,
ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but
Okay.
we're good.
We're good. All right, moving on to the multi-purpose court line. So, the multi-purpose court was, all the lines for the pickleball, basketball were put on in late fall. And it did not stick. It blew right off, literally,
In strips,
in strips.
no more stripes.
So, the company, D&D, that had put it on is, they'll be replacing it for free, as soon as the weather breaks. So that will be completed.
Good. So pickleball fans, hold off just a little longer. You don't have any stripes.
So, we tabled to remove the MFCU investment account, moving on to open township positions. So, we have 3 positions, and I'm not gonna say that they're necessarily open, but it's up for discussion. So the first one is board of review alternate position. So we actually have 2 positions that will be available. However, there is no training scheduled for the rest of the year through Michigan Township Association. So the training occurs in January and February for board of review positions. So we are not able to backfill that until next year. So that one is completely off the table, nothing we can do. The second one is DPW code enforcement officer. This is a hybrid role. I need to talk to Mark Pitt and see what his thoughts are on replacing this role or splitting out the code enforcement officer role again, or how we want to proceed. Does the board have any thoughts on this? Without having his input.
I think I'm open to maybe, either or, either bringing them together or separating them. Splitting, because, the situation we had where we had person to do both.
Both, yeah.
But we may not find somebody to do both. Now, it might be easier to replace another DPW person and then.
And from a budgetary perspective, that's going to, right, it would increase our budget, which is one of the reasons why we did it the way that we managed it.
But
So
it has to be separately paid and separately on a separate GL, so
it does, but
there's no reason to keep it together.
but if we match the pay, if we have a DPW right now, we had a DPW and code enforcement that was paid the same rate as the DPW, as a salary DPW. So if we have a salary DPW and then we hire a code enforcement officer, we're gonna be higher. You know what I mean? If we keep the pay the same.
If we could find a one person to cover both of those, I'd see great. But if we have different.
We
Yeah,
haven't even.
and I want to talk to Mark.
for it, yeah.
I haven't talked to Mark to see what his thoughts are on this, right? I need to chat with him. So it wasn't even something I was prepared to, and then we received a letter of intent, right?
Okay.
I'm like, okay, well, now we need to look
Now we
into
need
this.
to look into it.
Yeah. So let me talk to Mark on that, and I will bring a proposal back, hopefully next month. Grant committee, so this is one that we had already approved.
This is one we talked about last month.
And I did post it.
We did get one person that I've been sending email right after the meeting last month. I did talk to Michelle Trudell, I got to her house and talked, didn't call. I talked to Michelle Trudell myself. Told her she was interested in stepping back on, that she needed to submit a letter of interest, and I did not receive one. So.
I don't think she is, because she asked me to do what I needed to do for the nerves.
Okay, so, and at this point, we had one person apply. I could not print her letter, I mean, we all should have got it.
Yes.
In the evening. I have it. My printer isn't working with my computer, so I couldn't print it to bring it, but, the person that did it, I would like to make a motion, we put her on, and that is, Andrea Hilliker. I spoke with her, she is willing to make sure she can be here Monday nights for me.
But if it's not posted, should we post it to let people know?
We can, it was approved at the board meeting, so we can do that, we can hold off another one, that's.
We can put it on. So,
That's fine, that's.
okay.
So where and how are we just putting it on Facebook
I'll put it on
and the website?
Facebook and the website, or how about this, we don't wait a month, we get it on Facebook and the website, and we make a decision next Monday,
Yeah.
or 7 days.
Sure.
It's done.
I'm good with that.
Do a letter of intent to the whole board like the other one?
Yes.
So potentially, you'll do that with the DPW code enforcement if you talk to Mark?
No, well, yes and no, I wanna talk to Mark, and then I'll bring it back to the board
Yeah.
for proposal, yeah.
And
before
then
it gets
that has to
posted.
be advertised.
Yeah, before that gets posted, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, moving on, next up is the DPW truck. So we have a draw, electrical draw on the DPW truck. And so it's been noted, and I think it's at the point it needs to go in.
Yeah.
So I basically just want to have a conversation, does anyone disagree with the truck going in for service to figure out what's
It
wrong with
hasn't
the
been
draw?
in for service since we got it, and it needs to.
Yeah.
So,
They don't need it be dead on plow days.
No.
No,
Okay, yep, that's already happened.
so, and we don't need to rig it, we don't need to unhook this, we need to find out what's wrong with
I
it, right?
think-
It's a 2-year-old vehicle.
We just need to say,
Still under warranty, they.
have him take it in and find out what's wrong with it and come, you know.
Yep. All right, next on the agenda is Amazon account. So right now on our Amazon account, it is Treasurer Pitt, Clerk Dawson, and myself. And I think it would be valuable to have Chief Coughlin on the Amazon account in order to order directly for the fire department. So I would like to make a motion to add Chief Coughlin to the Amazon account for Lee Township.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to add Chief Coughlin for the fire department to be able to order directly from Amazon. And Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee List,
Yes.
Trustee Ryder,
Yes.
Treasurer Pitt,
Yes.
and as clerk, I will say yes, so motion carried.
I'm gonna go back and you get it.
I can do it, unless you're free in the morning. If you wanna do it in the morning, go for it, if not, cause it won't be till later.
I can do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's move to rush then. All right, last on the agenda for new business is the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Sparks grant.
If you do it May 30th, I won't be here because I'll be out of town anyway.
Okay, so trustee List probably won't be here. So.
Is that your
It is.
Yeah, I knew that was the day you was there. I knew that, that's why I said it, because we talked.
So, the park committee, so one of the, this is a little bit of an interesting topic, because when we went through the orientation, it was mentioned that it was a requirement to have a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new playscape, right? To get the grant, it was a requirement. And there's other documentation that disputes that doesn't say that, right? So, it is, and so there's also other documentation that says we have to have a plaque. And this commitment, it's a 20-year commitment that the township is going to maintain this equipment, right? And so there was supposed to be a plaque, and that is even a discrepancy when we talked with the DNR on this. The documentation says it's a requirement, but when you speak to them directly, no, it's not a requirement. So, again, conflicting information, and we're just trying to follow the guidelines, right? So, I am proposing that, and not just myself, but this is coming from the park committee, proposing that we have a ribbon cutting ceremony on May 30th 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
We're gonna
And,
throw something out
Yeah.
first before we decide it. Now, if we're just gonna do the splash and replacement, do you wanna do it? Encompass it to have for everything?
That's what I'm wondering, what you could do, is there a reason why you wanna do it so early?
we were just thinking that it would be up and running and.
The splash?
No, the, all the new,
The
yeah.
new stuff.
Grass, mulch, all those things to do before it.
This was just a discussion, I think Mark was in attendance, but again, I don't care the date, right? If another
I just
date
think it
works.
would be kinda nice if we did wait till, if we're gonna do the splash pad, you know, I don't know, maybe it's too much, I don't know.
Just, right now it's so muddy and there's no grass and.
Oh, right,
I don't-
and we had a
Would
ton,
we have it? Why, lighten out some areas and do all that, is that gonna be done in time to look really good for May 30th?
I don't think so.
talking with Mark, that was his.
He said yes.
He said yes, Mark said yes, but, we can table this until, and we can go back and talk to the park committee and say, well.
Can you please, because if we could cover it for both, it would be kind of cool, but if we can't, we can't.
And I guess since we've committed to Sinclair, maybe we can get on the schedule and plan, get a rough
That's
timeline.
what I was.
Right.
So that we
Yes.
can say, okay, if they're saying the rough timeline is July 4th, no, we don't wanna wait that long.
Yeah.
But if they say it's gonna be June 5th,
That they would be done,
Right.
shortly after that. So,
I'm not you.
okay, so you're gonna gather that information from.
Awesome,
Send
man,
whatever.
not doing that.
So,
All right, moving on.
table.
Table. FOIA requests, 2 from Tanya Stewart and 1 from Pam Coughlin, all of which I still owe you. But I will get them to you.
I fulfilled one.
Oh, you did?
I just can't fulfill that one.
Okay. And then moving on, road commission report. Anybody for- oh,
not been able to go.
Okay,
I'd like to say something about them.
about the road commission?
Yes, I
Okay.
called them prior to these frogs laws about the dip on 9 Mile and the drop off at 9 Mile and Pine River.
Okay.
And then I called again and they were like, oh, the frost laws are on. We can't do nothing with it. Is there any way?
Is that where the culvert is?
Yes.
Okay. I also got a couple of calls. I did contact Art, and he assures me if we will just be patient, that part of the culvert will fix itself.
When the frost goes out.
Well, they said after they'll come work on it, but you
They
just
are
gotta
monitoring
remember
now.
not to take a drink while you're going across there.
And then where it drops from Pine River onto 9 Mile.
I didn't ask about it.
There's a big old, the gravel is just all gone.
I only got complaints about the culvert on South Nine Mile.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, moving on, water district 1.
Oh, why did you mad when my car said?
No more raises on prices, so.
What's that?
No more raises
No more raises
on
on
prices, just let that alone.
For now. We're trying to think what we're engaged and what we're working on. The policy updates,
Policy updates, which we're still working on.
HR,
Yes.
job descriptions that are being worked on. There's been no changes in the staffing. They posted some opportunities for summer help. So on Water District 1's website, and I believe their Facebook site. So if anyone's interested, full-time summer type of hours, painting, hydrants, weed whacking, that type of stuff. So they're looking, I think, for 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, you straight, good job, you down through.
We'll talk about that later. All right, MCTOA report.
I just asked Lori to put on the website the scholarship applications.
Yes, I
You can file that, and, we've got a meeting coming up, and then we'll have a quarterly one. We've got people on the agenda for the next one, I just don't know who wants to come.
You touched on that, I do wanna thank Chief Coughlin and the other 2 fire chiefs that were
It
there.
was a good meeting.
It was very informative, very good, and well attended. So,
All right, fantastic, thank you. Code authority report, Mr. List.
yeah, back in our office,
Renovations are done?
I'm not sure if all renovations are done, but they're done enough that we're back in our office. I have not actually gone up and seen the office yet, but we're working on some technology upgrades, which should be taking place over the next couple months. We did send a letter for the cloud permit, the online permitting that we tried to make work for 2 years and couldn't get the darn thing to work right. We had the lawyer basically send them a we're done letter to try to get out of that contract. For permits, we had 4 building permits, 5 electrical permits, 4 plumbing, and 5 mechanical. And then we will be doing our budget this month.
I had someone call me today, I don't think there's anything that needs to be done on it, but he told me that he feels like someone is scamming him and filing false, plumbing reports. And I can get you his number.
Yeah, do that, because is he saying like the inspector is doing things they shouldn't be, or the office?
No, that another individual
Oh.
is filing reports under his name.
Oh, yeah, give me his number.
Yes, I will.
I will definitely give him a call.
So I told him to call the code authority, I gave him the
Yes.
number for that too.
I'll get with
But
the inspectors.
I'll get it for you.
I'll go with the inspectors too.
Okay.
All right, moving on again, Mr. List, grant committee report.
Okay, we got the last piece of paperwork tonight that I needed from Clerk Dawson, and we will be submitting, most likely tomorrow, the $25,000 grant request to add to the one we got, and $45,000 from selling the other 2 vehicles to replace Chris's favorite rescue vehicle that we have. So, hopefully that will go through, but that will be submitted, like I said.
And that's going to Strosacker?
It's going to Strosacker. There's the last piece of paperwork I needed, so it will be, everything else is, in a file. I need to upload that and hit submit.
Awesome.
I'll get some updated quotes, just, be prepared.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of why we're trying to stack the grants with 45, and so it's like if we get this, we got a nice buffer before we have to dip into any of our funds.
It's just unreal how much they,
We got a new fire truck at a good time. I'm not gonna argue.
So this is to replace a 1999 Ford truck with a 1985 box on it from one of our original trucks, right?
it's a 2-wheel drive.
It's a 2-wheel drive, 1 ton, probably, that is squirrely, and there's only a couple of people that are even able to drive the rig without putting it in the ditch. So, it should have never been purchased, from a 2-wheel drive perspective, in Michigan, but here we are. So.
But do you have the title?
I don't know, I think so. It's a valid question.
It might not be necessary, it might just go off a cliff somewhere.
All right.
Car crusher.
Right. Recognition moment.
I want to thank the fire department, not just for the work they always do, but just this last windstorm, the last couple of days. I know they were out in some inclement weather, working,
To say the
and
least.
I just want to thank the entire department for being out in that and cleaning up all the down trees. I know there was one down in 7 Mile, but they were at for, I don't know how many hours. So I just really appreciate, respect for what you folks do.
Okay, so,
Thank you.
I second
Any other? Yeah.
The whole board, we all got along, you guys talked, you communicated, it was nice. You all deserve a pat on the back.
Thank you. Any other recognition moments? All right, moving on to public comment. done.
For you that don't know, my name is Don Robinson. I have some things I wanted to say, but, if we need parts for the fire truck, why don't you take it out of that $250,000 you're gonna waste on the splash? Because I think people that are not in the township should be paying to get into that. Okay, that's not right, that we gotta foot all that bill. And I put a letter of intent on the board review, and you're now saying that nobody can have that position because you gotta have.
Well, it requires training, Don.
Well,
And
that was not put out, this is I come to board, this is the first time I ever heard any of these positions need training, okay?
Oh, yeah, it requires a 4-hour training every 2 years. Through the state, this isn't through the township, it's through the state.
I'd like to know why we have police at this meeting.
Because my wife was assaulted in the board meeting.
Excuse me?
Because my wife was assaulted and hit during a board meeting, I requested that we have the police here. They're here because of a physical assault in that boardroom over there.
No, I don't think we need that.
Well,
I think you're creating a hostile workspace.
my wife was assaulted and I was
Is that the way you got touched on the shoulder?
It was not paper, it was a fist.
Thank you for allowing me.
Any other public comment this evening? Yes, Mr. Anger?
Can we do something about the speaker system? It's almost impossible to hear
Well,
you
Al, I
back
mean,
here.
you are sitting in the back.
Yes,
And you've
I also
talked
have a
throughout the
hearing
entire
problem.
meeting too.
I mean, I don't know, we've added speakers into the rooms. Is anyone else having a problem? I mean,
Aside from people talking in the back of the room, it's difficult.
Yep.
I have the same problem, and I can't sitting up front, it's no different.
I can't hear him. What did you just say? I'm sorry.
I have the same problem, even if I'm sitting up front, hearing you guys.
so then,
just fine.
Yep.
But do they have options at all?
they have other mic options. They're expensive.
I think the problem is, spend some money on something that's very useful.
Listen.
That part is very useful.
Yes.
But
That's why
I
I like to see
actually
other-
think it's because when you guys talk, you look at the person you're talking to next to you instead of talking into the
They
speaker.
should be still picking up, but yeah.
Yeah, see, you talk into the speaker, don't turn your head, that makes a difference.
So what we'll do is I will get a quote and we will budget for new ones, for lapel mics, for, see what we can do.
We've had enough complaints about it.
Right.
Yes, Connie?
Aside from people talking in the back of the room, making it difficult to hear what you guys are actually talking about, with the park situation and whatnot, drawing so many people and whatnot, I do think, like other community stuff and whatnot, I think we really, really do need to have the other surrounding townships, even people coming from Midland and whatnot, they need to chip in a little bit. And I also think with the renovations that are happening, try and keep stuff from, being on the ground, because they get clogged with sand and stuff. If you're looking to update the features, I don't know what's available, whatever, but get things more up off the ground so that they'll get past the sand, just my observations on that.
Process or?
Are you talking about
During the process.
The sprayers?
No, when it's running, people don't rinse their feet off and they come and play in it. For some reason, they thought it was sensors or something was getting plugged and it was a problem in the past. It is just, I don't know what's going on there because I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, the sand is now, like, it's coming up.
Right, but I meant when it was running and people were coming and going and people weren't rinsing their feet off before they go play in it, it just seemed to clog it up. And I figured, well, if you get newer features and get stuff off the ground and spraying down on them, I think that would be better, because it's, less
This
things
should
to
be a
get.
mix.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
that's a good point.
But yeah, I hope you can get other townships to chip in if there's people who are using it.
I don't know, we don't chip in for Sanford, for
Sure.
their splash pad, right? I mean,
Right.
yeah.
If there's a way that we can interconnect, that would be nice, just hoping.
Any other public comment? Yes, Chief.
Robin Brief is the treasurer, one of the officers of the Lee Township Firemen's Association. She was going to do this tonight, but she's back in the fall doing paperwork for the last room as we speak. So I've been asked to do this. This is to the board. Following the recent recall effort against Lee Township Supervisor Kruger, Trustee List, Trustee Ryder, and Trustee Dawson, the Lee Township Firemen's Association would like to express our support and trust in the aforementioned township officers. These officers continue to demonstrate support and loyalty to our department and to the community we serve and live in. Thank you, the Lee Township Firemen's Association. Just have one copy.
Any other public comment?
Yes. I'm Pam Coughlin, I'm a Lee Township resident. Treasurer Pitt, why did you not inform the board that one of our DPW employees was on disability workers' comp from another municipality while working for our township, putting our township at risk when you knew the situation?
So I can answer this, because I would love to. I don't handle anything with the DPW. And number two,
I have
He was
paperwork
not-
that proves that you were
I
trying to
don't
take
care what
over
garbage
the
you have, let's just be clear. I handled nothing with the DPW, I have no keys, I have no authority. That would be this board, and this board knew that an employee was injured, but not on here, and, excuse me and let me finish, please. And also, the foreman of the DPW notified the board that he had already handled it with workman's comp. He was approved to work for this township. That's a fact.
This was discovered by the clerk when she received a text message from Travis asking if he could
Hey,
take
here, would you like
steps
an answer?
for October 24th to October 25th. So, 2025, so he could fill out his workers' comp paperwork. When the clerk came to ask you about this, why did you tell her to shut up? It's none of your business.
I never did
It
that.
is the board's responsibility to look after the township's welfare. Where were you?
No,
And since when did
well,
Mark
Barbie, I
Pitt
don't
become the
shut up.
HR director for Lee Township? He doesn't take care of workers' comp. That is the clerk's responsibility.
When I talked to the workman's comp agent, she requested to talk to the DPW supervisor, which is Mark Pitts. She needed
He is not the
clarification from
HR
him.
director.
It doesn't matter, she needed to talk to my boss, and she needed to talk to my boss at that time. I gave her both Mark Pitts' number and Doug Kruger's number to contact them both, because they both are my boss.
Should you have been working for this township while you were on a disability?
It wasn't using my shoulder, so yeah.
No.
Mark Pitt had shoulder surgery and he worked for this township and this whole board knew it. Do you have a problem with that? Because the school approved it. Workman's comp approved it. That's where
not
Mark
my
Pitt
problem.
was. Well, that's good because he doesn't work for the township full time. He works for another company that allowed it.
Right there since when?
You're not supposed to do that.
I didn't do anything. Show me your proof. Let's clear it up right now. Show me the proof and let's all air it out right now.
Yeah.
When did I ever tell you to shut up, Laura?
You didn't specifically say those words, but you told me to mind my own business and pretty much stay in my own lane, when technically I do handle the workers' comp, and Travis should have given me his stuff, and to this day, I still have nothing from Travis. Nothing.
Did you request that to Mark Pitt?
In
He's the
the
one that took care of
email,
it.
No, in the email.
Mark doesn't have email.
Then why does it say Heidi and Mark Pitt? And I'm not the one that opened this. I'm not
I
the
didn't have
one. So I don't know why you are bringing me into this
Well, she
because.
brought you into it, said I told you to shut up.
Well,
I want you to clarify for this whole group that I've not told you to shut up. I don't do that.
You have not told me to shut up, that you did, as I just stated, told me to mind my own business, stay in my lane, and let Mark handle it because he already had. But it's not Mark's place to handle workers' comp. If anybody got hurt, any of the fire, who was it, Todd didn't deal with Chief Coughlin.
We've got two injuries.
Todd
That
dealt
goes to
with
the
me.
clerk.
This was not a workman's comp issue with the township. How many times do we need to say this? Doug, you are over the DPW, hourly employees and salary employees. It first comes to you. So if you have a problem with this, you get with Mark and you two deal with it. I'm out of it. I haven't been involved in it.
You claimed it.
I wasn't involved in it until the email.
Because people shared a text message with you and you guys took it where you wanted it to go.
It was an
The
email
bottom,
that you claimed.
You
it.
flat out said, I'm in charge when Mark is
point of
gone.
conduct. Excuse, no, that has never, ever been said.
It's
Yes,
in
it
print.
No,
In an email, I'll bring it to
I'll
the
pull
next
it
meeting.
up for you right now myself.
Go
You
ahead.
wanna tell your stories outside of this building, you go ahead. But in this building, you need to keep your mouth closed on telling me what I did and didn't say.
I'll
Now,
bring it,
enough.
I'll bring it to the next meeting.
It's your email, Heidi.
Point of order, I'm asking for this board to stand up and do something about this. Every time somebody complains about me, you just let them do it. Any other time, it's point of order.
Then they
Which
bring
is,
the fire
we
department.
had a great
Let them
meeting going
fight over
on
it.
here, and you guys did this.
Why are you yelling at us?
I am shocked.
Why are you yelling
We
at
don't
us?
have anything to do
You're
with
not standing up for what actually happened. Why can't you?
I get yelled at all the freaking time.
What happened?
What the hell?
You missed the turn.
I'm not
I'm
swearing, so
not-
just get over it. It's not gonna happen. We'd like you to, I won't. I'm not changing who I am or what I
You
do.
know, if it's all getting along just fine, you're gonna cross the law and get recalled, it's gonna happen. I mean, you guys can wave the white flag and all get along and be fine on that board, you just showed me tonight how good this can be. We're gonna find,
We've got 4 on one recall and 1 on another.
it's ridiculous.
This
And
is
everybody
wrong.
gets in and gangs up on you
This
guys.
whole thing is
That's what
ridiculous.
I'm telling you.
We are here to serve the township. And when people keep coming at us from all
Oh,
angles,
I get it.
we can't do our jobs like we're supposed to. We can't move forward. And I'm telling you,
But you guys need to stick up for all the and get each other.
but I am telling the truth. She did tell me to stay in my own lane, mind my own business.
Never
But
said
there's
my
been a lot
term
of,
business,
yeah,
not one
there's
time.
been a lot of stuff back and forth.
Yes,
It's
there is.
not exactly, you know what I'm saying?
So let me
No, I've
ask
been
you,
attacked.
let me ask you this, let me ask you
By you
this.
guys.
Who do you plan, you wanna recall all 5 of us, all 4 of us?
I don't wanna recall none of you.
Who do you have to sit in our seats? Who wants to come to this? Let's be real.
I think you're retarded. I mean, I'm with you, I know what you're saying.
Who wants to come and deal with this, guys? And
Somebody
you're all
will sit
gonna
there,
people
but
complain about
why?
our pay. I've had people tell me we should make 6 figures to sit up here. And we've got people complaining that we make $20-some thousand a year. Do you know how many hours this
Listen, I don't
board
care
puts
what you
into
make, as
this?
long as you get that part down, so you can get a swimsuit.
Just for your information, for each of these board meetings, I have 12+ hours of prep.
Oh, I can't even
just
tell
to
you how
get
much
here.
time, yeah, me
Listen,
too.
We have
More
people
than
that are in
Honestly,
basketball board,
though.
Shiawassee board.
Yeah.
We know lots of people
Well,
that's
that's
on
great.
different boards.
Honestly, Laura, you two sat next to each other like that is a testament to that. You guys are,
We did fine.
could be fine. If you don't have other people on the outside, fine, you start your shit.
For Facebook.
Well, everybody's
It's
done,
just
nobody's
bad.
perfect.
It's not just, Rob, it's not just that, it's the comments that are over here, it's every single person.
I'm sitting here watching the whole thing.
Well, yes, very much, yes.
Quite often.
No,
We
no,
have several conversations.
I just saw some.
I have no problem having a
What's
conversation.
happening?
Heidi
I
said
see
she
what's
knows,
going on.
Heidi said she knows where she stands with
She had a
this
problem.
board. And I guess if we're gonna go there, has anybody ever asked me why I work from home?
I thought you didn't like us.
No,
I know, I never.
because going through the transition, and Heidi's gonna get mad, but every time anyone goes into her office, she spouts whatever. Says
She does
whatever,
not.
she does.
She does
Because
not.
I have had,
That's
maybe not to you, because
keyboard
you've
warrior
heard
that's running Facebook.
Wait a minute. We used to come to your office all the time.
Yes, until Elaine got mad at me and.
No, she did not get mad at you.
Oh, yes, she did.
No,
You
no,
know why?
you got upset because of the money that the hot spring didn't pay the money. And I keep track of anything.
If we were supporting you in all these speeches, would you hit that hammer just now?
Exactly.
So I'm getting bitched at for not hitting the hammer, and I'm getting bitched at for hitting the hammer.
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing here? I can't do anything right.
It goes and goes and goes. As long as
Nothing
it's
can be
slammed.
right. If I say yes, I get recalled. If I say no, I get recalled. What the heck? I'm sick of that, guys. Good lord. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
No problem.
Go left, go right. You're wrong way.
Yes, it is, very. Yes.
Hey, it's uneventful for most of the night.
Yeah. Hey, every little bit is progress, so.
Don't feel bad, you're not the only township we're at. Isn't that where all the townships are at? I'm just saying. These guys
Explain that.
Exactly.
How's Tim doing? Good, how about you?
Good, oh, doing good, Tim, doing
That's good.
See the UP man, what a fucking mess. You're just worried about, and my buddy lives up there, and the whole car's covered in fire. Man, you see that much snow? Or that much of the roof? I see that much of the house roof.
No,
Yeah.
no, I recalculated it.
Yeah.
40.
You know, we could probably get a little farther if you donate your pay. We'll talk to Doug.
Hey, Doug.
He's ready to do anything.
That is stupid. No, that makes my life
Get a better story, you know. We're just animals out here. Want to get a guy fishing and crabbing, it's some big old bastard right here.
I thought the whole thing went well until they get up there and start throwing punches.
I thought it was pretty good until they start that fucking fight and they were doing well. Lord, I'm proud of you anyway. I'm proud of you anyway.
I have no problem with anybody, it's just the others that have a problem with me because I speak my mind. But I don't know when people lie either.
Some of that was like, that last wow.
I'm not the one that did it. I didn't speak it.
But it causes, listen, that shit causes that pressure.
Well, yeah.
But you give us numbers, 1, 2, 4, like how many? Are they paid?
I'm not sure.
Well, here, the thing is I have grandchildren,
You,
I have a husband. You know? And this one doesn't even live here and comes and does and tries to cause trouble anywhere he goes.
Thank God for the United States of America.
Yeah.
We're all residents of the United States of America. It doesn't matter if we live in a township,
No,
a
it
state.
doesn't.
We can go anywhere in this great country and pop into a township
this
meeting,
great country.
and our opinion and our voice matters.
Yes, it does.
United States Constitution, freedom of the press.
Yours either.
But, no, but wait a minute, what if I paid it?
That's your lead township clerk, Laura Dawson.
Then you don't give me a signature down.
Trying. That'll get her recalled faster than anything else that's going on here.
No. You can see them.
Because my name,
I've been to enough meetings in the local areas and stuff, and like,
Them two clowns are set against
you want to take so that, you can take them to that paper away.
No, that's not how it works. I have.
I know how that works, I know what's supposed to.
I have a hard time I have a hard time standing over there because the one sits there and bites her nails the whole time. That's just gross.
I tried to shut up today and then you start freaking farther and I can't shut up anymore because it just gets out of control.
Loner is pulling up
Just bring a bag of them, be like, here, since yours are gone, you want mine?
You did well. You did well.
Time period. They didn't have your signature, then they finally got it.
I'm tired, I want to admit it.
That was better.
You got anything else to say about the United States Constitution?
No, I can say you're goofy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the emails and phone calls.
But they can verify, they put their name on there, but my name down below.
I didn't even do nothing. I just show up.
Sometimes it's all. They got me up into it because they knew I was here.
Right.
You all set?
Travis is gonna walk.
Okay, good.
I'm just gonna.
It's time to go home and get our PJs. I was just wondering about the signs. Well, there's lots of signs. I got one home too.
Okay, I'll drop this off.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna take those away, since I did extra Robinsons, and then I'm gonna come up to see you. I seen, I said, whoever put that sign in, put it in the right order.
Your office on
On a scale from 1 to 10,
how we doing against the others?
Okay.
I found
I might even we have to go home and get in their pajamas. Is that room empty already?
Yes.
Okay, so I can lock it?
Yes.
All right, buddy.
Yep.
Put my stuff down, I'll put the lock buttons and.
All right, my dear, I will see you in the morning.
Where are my keys are?
Technically only.
Right, right.
What in the hell is this?
Yeah. He needs to go. I want a lot. He said that because I think no way in hell.
Clean up here with you tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Alright, I don't know who's watching yet. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna end this live stream. I see a couple of you were in here watching that. Throw a comment down in here what you thought about that clerk. All I was doing was standing there. That's all I've done is come to these meetings, stand around, document it for the rest of the world, for you guys, for everybody at home that can't make it here. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. I appreciate all you guys that watch.